time. Everywhere you hide, I've been looking for you a long time. Everywhere you hide, I've been looking for you a long time.
Undefeated, that's why they call me undisputed. I'm ranking up another season. I've been up on my stats. Now would you look at that? Undefeated, locked and loaded. We about to blow. Caught 'em with that left, I leave 'em tapped out on the floor. Sounding itchy, sticky, swishy. Watch me bank a score. Up in the boat, I'm in the zone. Yeah.
Go to the fire, the breath. King of the jungle and beat my chest. They say I'm posing the threat. Just like a pebble, I'm cutting the net.
Ring on my finger, but yes. Like playing chess and I don't even sweat. That's what I call it finesse. That's what I call it finesse. Ain't no rivals, ain't no rivals. They can try, but they're never ever slowing me down. On arrival, this is my show. Crossing my heart, they know we are undefeated. That's why they call me undisputed. I'm ranking up another season. I've been up on my stats. Now would you look at that? I pop on with the jumper, then the adios. Gotta go. I'm the prima donna, make him do the most. Not enough, I'm just warming up. We up in the club, oh. I'm ready to hunt, time to eat it up, oh.
1, 2 step, look who's scared, now you on the run. You gon' hear my soundtrack go dun 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 dun. I'll be starting riots when I pull the stun. I got him shook, I'm on a bro, check on my stats.
Ain't no rivals, ain't no rivals. They can try, but they're never ever slowing me down. On arrival, this is my show. Crossing my heart, they know we are undefeated. That's why they call me undisputed. I'm ranking up another season. I've been up on my stats. Now would you look at that?
Hey, even though it's been a long way, even at the top, I'm wide awake.
Yeah, you know it's XG.
And we do it all again.
We the ones that can't be. Just remember the time, remember the climb. Not a glitter and shine, oh.
We on top of the world. Need I remind you?
They know we are
Undefeated. That's why they call me undisputed. I'm ranking up another season. I've been up on my stats. Now would you look at that?
Time slows down when it can get no worse. I can feel it running out on me. I don't want these to be my last words. All forgotten, 'cause that's all they'll be. Now there's only one thing I can do. Fight until the end like I promised to. Wishing there the roof up in the air. This run I make it count, yeah, I'm talking right now. Feel like the comeback kid, got no time to spare. Double up score, 22 to 4. You know I win a lot, gotta win one more. On a hot street, never gets old. Soda with the ace and my team went gold. Why am I playing with time as it's ticking away? It's ticking away, away. I'm asking why. I'll give it one more try. I don't know why, but I keep coming back every time. I want it more than my life. I don't know why, but it feels so right. Why am I playing with time as it's ticking away? It's ticking away. I don't know where you've been sold, but I'd be insane not to play my role. Yeah, I know I can break a fold. The stakes are low. If I can say one thing, just know that I got a hand that I can lend you, and it don't matter when, no, I'll protect you. Call on me, I'm here whenever. Those who graded in one move farther back. Just know that I got a hand that I can lend you, and it don't matter when, no, I'll protect you. Call on me, I'm here whenever. Those who graded in one move farther back. Oh, you think you suck? I think that's unlikely. You can keep on looking, but can't find nobody like me. Eldorado pushing, why I'm pressing in a white tee. You know I love you, I need someone who can guide me. I can't do no little bag. I need 3 mil. Tracks coming in both directions, just like a be real. I've been eating good, to be lucky to get 3 mil. First place, run it up. Care about what he feel. I have you, give you everything, anything. I have you, you're my everything. Just know that I got a hand that I can lend you, and it don't matter when, no, I'll protect you. Call on me, I'm here whenever. Those who graded in one move farther back. Just know that I got a hand that I can lend you, and it don't matter when, no, I'll protect you. Call on me, I'm here whenever. Those who graded in one move farther back.
So you go first.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in week 1 of Valorant in the SEC. I am Dancing Buffalo. I will be here with Wolf on the cast today. We have the honor and pleasure of viewing Mississippi State play Texas Tech here today. Wolf, how's it going, man?
It's pretty good. I'm new to this, so don't threaten me too much, okay? In the chat. So I'm here with Bailey. We'll go over the play-by-play of SEC for MSU Valorant today.
I'm looking forward
So
to it.
how do you feel? How do you feel?
Sorry, please go ahead.
Oh no, how do you feel? today?
Oh, I'm excited. I've been around the Mississippi State esports scene for quite a while. But I've really enjoyed watching Mississippi State's Valorant journey, from its inception years and years ago. Unfortunately, I've only really been able to watch them in their esports Egg Bowl matchups against Ole Miss. But this past spring had a very promising performance and a dominant performance at that. And I do see some familiar names and faces on this roster that was able to play in that spring Egg Bowl. And I'm looking forward to a really high intensity, high flying, high kill match here.
I'm looking forward to this. That's the first game I get to watch of MSU Valorant. It's pretty exciting. You don't get to see this every day unless you watch the streams every time. But other than that, you don't get to see it that often.
Yeah, that's what's great about this collegiate esports scene as it continues to evolve year over year with numerous different titles. Is that you're seeing teams that you normally don't get to see play that often come together and compete in really like bolstering and like ever growing and ever higher competition and competitive levels. I know Dubes is a very confident in his team as a captain of this MSU squad, and that swagger he kind of has with himself and his team. They really feel like they're going to bring that into their play style here. In some of the notes that he sent me, he said that they're looking to take space early and often. Like anytime that space is presented to them, they want to be able to take it and bring a really aggressive and confident play style to this match. And if it goes well and according to plan, it could lead to a lot of snowballing rounds, but also like you get caught out of position, that could be a double-edged sword where like if you send one a lurk in the wrong position, they get called out and then you're down a man in a round. So I'm interested to see how that strategy plays out here this evening.
I'm very interested to see this strategy as well. I'm very interested. How do you feel against Texas as a team?
Uh, well, as we're getting into the match, I honestly don't know a lot about Texas Tech. I'm interested to see. I'll definitely keep my eyes on these players in these first couple rounds of this first match or this first map. It is a best of 3. So map 1 could be a lot of just like getting your feet wet, making sure that your aim's on point. I think the one player on Texas Tech that we're going to need to look out for is Storm. I have heard that Storm plays a lot of Yoru as we see it hovered right there. And I think that Storm could be a difference maker in Texas Tech's rotation.
Ooh, I really like the neon pick. The neon is very good in shorter maps like this in the sunset, along with the cipher. The cipher is really good at getting the information that you need for your team.
Yeah,
Making space, checking the flank.
and if the VCT Championship Finals in Seoul taught us anything, especially that final match between Team Heretics and EDG, Kang on that Neon is a phenom. It's a very aggressive play style. I know that MSU Rain likes that aggressive play style. And if we're seeing flashes of Kang here this evening, I may have to stand up for this match.
Ooh, that would be a sight to behold. Seeing a really good neon play is it's a wonderful thing to witness. So any other agent catch your eye?
See, I'm a beta Valorant player in the sense of I played in the beta, so I was always a Sage main. It doesn't look like we're gonna see any Sages on this map 1 at least. I know that she's kind of fallen off heavy and hard, and not a recent development. But I always like a good Sova. I find it really interesting what type of lineups people are able to come up with those different darts, the recon darts and the shock bolts. And so I'll be personally watching the play of Closo and Burger Eater, but that's just a personal thing I'll be watching. I do agree Cypher can have a lot of impact for either team, and then your Omen on smokes. I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary from what we've seen competitively recently. Omen is a very strong character, and having those smokes recharge throughout the round.
Yeah, Omen's a very, very strong controller at the moment. But what do you think of this the Breach pick instead of the Yoru for Mississippi State?
You know, I think Breach is in no negative connotative tone here. I think Breach is a little bit of a comfort pick for Dubes in the sense that it's not a like I feel safe picking this, it's that I am a menace on Breach. And so I think this is Dubes just kind of stepping in, like jumping in both feet first, wanting to make it known early. And as we see, wasting no time, Rain coming through, sliding in, does get one before going down. And the trades do come through. Still the early man advantage for Mississippi State here as we enter round one.
Spike planted.
I love this split from Mississippi State, taking that market control as well as taking A main control. Or B main, I should say.
It wasted no time, got that spike down. The post plant is through, playing that safe default back towards B main there. Waiting for the sound tap. We do see the defuse there. It was just touched. And that recon bolt, I talked about it. Sova could be a game changer here. Picking them off one at a time. Kristen Cole again. You're not going to get any help from the House of the Dragon here, sir. And that first round goes the way of Mississippi State and your Bulldogs.
Oh, it was a very nice play to have the split and then have your Omen still lurking towards mid for that last second mid play. You know, have everyone playing main, but always have that it factor in the Omen sitting in mid.
And as we look at the buys here, you know, Valorant, a game of economy, we do see that Vandal and Bulldog coming through. So the rifles coming out early here for Mississippi State, trying to get that snowball started early and take as many of these attacking rounds as they can.
Looks like Texas, though, has gotten the right read. They're mostly stacking on this A side. So Mississippi State has to be careful about how they play this.
Playing behind those smokes, that recon revealing some information. One kill does come through. Mississippi State quickly trading through. Storm with one of his own before Pleb trades back. Storm with a second, however. And just like that, it is down. It's a 2v2. Spike didn't make it down. Both players for Texas Tech are relatively low. This fast lane.
But they're also...
One enemy remaining.
Fast lane provided an opportunity for Rain. I think he wanted to try to get out and get to the spike. Pleb was on a lurk of his own. Looks like it has been called out. The free weapon upgrades for your two Texas Tech defenders that lasted till the end of the round. And now Mississippi State's got a choice to make here on this economy.
I think it was just a very good read from Texas Tech to stack that A site. You know, because they have everyone centered towards that A site. No one on B is free site.
Now we're seeing more of a two on each site here for Texas Tech. More of a default look. You've got that Sova. Was lurking mid, now leaning back towards A. Little pistol buy here for Mississippi State. Let's see what the Sheriffs can do. A lot of danger can come from the Sheriffs. The headshot potential is really astounding on the revolver here.
Here's the mid play coming up. This Texas Tech is waiting for MSU to pop.
Might have missed the dart there. We do see a couple of players getting tagged down in mid. Does go down. That Vandal out battling the Marshall in that gunfight. But Mississippi State still making their way up towards mid here. Probably looking for a pick before they decide which site they want to pursue.
Yeah, it's very interesting what he wanted to do on a thrifty round like this. Because Dubes wants to use his utility to give his team the advantage.
Yeah, we speak of Dubes. It looks like the call has been made to creep towards that A site. At least two have made it that way. That is a big pick there. And the neural theft going off as well to reveal a little more information. Zeph reveals his location with those shots. Is getting flanked, but the Sheriffs, I called it earlier, the Sheriffs coming through. That's 2 more kills.
Back up.
Kristen Cole catching Frosty a little out of position there with that Marshall. And just like last round, we're into a 2v2 once again.
But it's both initiators versus a sentinel and a duelist. What? I wonder what utility they have left. They might have shock darts or a flash maybe left. There's the stun.
Stun came through. We see the
Last player
tap
standing.
onto the spike. Closo not able to make use of that flash, but the aftershock does go down, not able to get it halved. Kristen Cole, knowing he's out of time, Dude's gonna die to the spike here. Only had the sheriff to his name anyway. That's a great offensive round for Mississippi State. They were on the thrifty. They lose a man early. They get the pick on the lurk. They're able to execute out onto A and play a really successful post plant.
And what a great call from the IGL of Mississippi State to call for that mid push into just trying to get a pick. It's very smart.
And that also showed a lot of patience for Mississippi State. That round 1 pistol, it was full on W key towards B, but that round there showed, we lose a man early, even if we're only on pistols, it's the eco. We could slow things down, play for picks, wait for that lurk and pleb to come through, and then capitalize off of the situation presented to us, and they executed it well.
Let's see. It looks like they're gathering up mid for a mid play again. Let's see if Texas Tech is ready for this.
Door goes down, lets someone know there's someone close at least for an instant. A lot more safer play across the field from Texas Tech. C2 kind of hanging back right outside of mid on the defender side of mid. And then on the antithesis, we see this split. We've got a couple in mid and then towards B main here for Mississippi State.
But let's see what this mid play can make. They can make it this mid play.
Great execution off the flash, takes down Zeph. Burger Eater with that sheriff though, trying to tag, but it looks like the call is being made out onto A. Kristen Cole. Sometimes the spray works. You have the Vandal versus the Sheriff. You just got to chase him down on that slide. We talked about the neon and the impact that agent can have. But yet again, the spike has gone down, and the man advantage still leans the way of Mississippi State here.
And that's the neon ultimate used from Texas Tech. So that they can't use that for any rounds later in the half unless they earn it back.
It is a big commitment. We see the pop flash out of the smoke. Storm does take down Rain. Gun coming through from Dubes. Oh, a little bit of a whiff shot there from Burger, and Dubes making him pay. That's 2. It's the 1v1 Storm. Able to pick up 3 on the round and is going to get that defuse as well. Bringing our total score 2 rounds to 2 here, and that's borderline a must win for Storm there.
Oh yeah, the economy would have been trashed at that point if Mississippi State was able to win that. But also, this game is so evenly matched between the two.
Oh, I agree. From what we've seen so far, it's been very back and forth. Anytime we see an opener, we do almost immediately see a trade or the follow-up coming through. And I would like to ask you, do you believe Sunset to be a more attack or defender-sided map?
I'd like to think sometimes it's a defender-sided map, but depending on what comp you get, it can be an attack-sided map, especially with this breach and this rolling thunder that MSU has ready to go.
You see taking care of all of those tripwires, Rain popping that ultimate from Neon as well. Not quite able to see the Cypher off the headshot angle. Gets down dangerously low, but Zeph able to follow up before the kill comes through. 6 HP onto the Cypher. Burger follows up with 2 of his own. Now the man advantage for Texas Tech. Burger with a 3rd. Dude stuck in a corner, able to take down 1 on that eco, but pretty resounding round there with the rifles for Texas Tech.
It's a very solid, foot on the ground, saying we will not be moved. And MSU used the Neon Ultimate as well to try and get some space, but it didn't get much value as they wanted though.
Yeah, that headshot angle up onto Boba from the Cypher from Texas Tech. Hidden by the smoke, and then once the smoke cleared and Rain saw the Cypher there looking back at him, not quite able to get enough damage done. Got it down to 1 HP, but wasn't quite enough. The follow-up was there on the rotation. Rain with the aggression here, able to get that kill. Still plays his life, gets the second as well. Rain doing a lot on his own, down to 67 HP, but single-handedly clears that push from Texas Tech and gives B site to Mississippi State for that plant.
And Texas Tech used the Omen ult to reconvene with this team, and now they're using the Euro ult to, you know, threaten out these attackers.
Bold strategy there with the shorty, going in with the ult, hoping for one, maybe two, not able to get it. But this defense here between Kristen Cole and Zeph has wiped out 4 of our 5 attackers. Lev is out onto the side with the lurk, gets one, playing for time, down to 65 HP. Now it's a cat and mouse game. Pros never fake. Someone should have told Zeph that this is collegiate. Pleb able to get that kill and bring it back to even. That's 3 rounds to 3 here.
And that's really well played by Pleb. He's sitting in mid, watching that mid door, and then when he hears the people running through mid, he slowly creeps up behind him to have that flank ready, just in case.
Yeah, a lot of patience shown by Pleb, not giving away himself with the audio cues and able to capitalize on what was almost a less than idyllic situation for Mississippi State on that post plant.
Now, I wonder what they're gonna use these ultimates for. They've had the Rolling Thunder for a couple of rounds now. Let's see what they can do with these ultimates that both teams have.
Yeah, 4 ultimates on the way of Mississippi State as we're in round 7 here. A lot of it's probably just trying to come up with a strategy to utilize them the best. You know, that Rolling Thunder can be utilized really well for getting out onto site, but it can also be used to stop a retake. So it's one of those situational awareness, but also, you know, that's big decisions. Yeah, it's a big investment. We've seen both Neon ults not really bear fruit. The Yoru ult in that last round wasn't able to find anything. So a little bit of safety, but also, I mean, you lose them at half, so you don't want to hold on to them too long.
Nice try. I'm out of here.
Oh, and there's the
through
Rolling
here.
Thunder.
Neon in that movement ability, able to get out of the side of it.
30 seconds left.
Using all of the util to hold the defenders at bay while the spike does go down, and it does. Pleb on the lurk, not able to find it this time. Dude gets one. Takes out a Yoru clone for good measure, and Kristen Cole before he goes down to Zeph. Frosty on the off angle, able to take down 2 and the third. It's a 3K to clean it up from Frosty.
Ooh, wow. What a big misplay from Texas Tech. They don't decide to swing together on Frosty, and that just cost them a round.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, is that ego? Maybe the comm was that he was low, or it could have just been a little, like, out of system. We know the spike's down. Could be a little bit of nerves. Just like, all right, there's only one guy left. There's 3 of us. Let's just take him out. Well, you tried. We'll give you that. A for effort. But Frosty had other plans, and the 3K pulls Mississippi State back ahead 4 rounds to 3.
The only good thing that Texas Tech got out of that round was that Mississippi State used the Rolling Thunder and didn't get too much value other than the spike playing out of it.
That is true, and Texas Tech also has 2 ults of their own. They're also sitting on their own Hunter's Fury and Neural Theft. Off angle played well there by Pleb.
Where is everyone? Cage trigger required destroyed.
Uses the Neural Theft.
Thought I was listening to a trap beat there as he tried to get close enough to use it, but it does go off. The information comes through. Spike goes down. Storm down to 1 HP. Or at least 1 shot from a rifle.
think Storm is looking for. Yep, he was looking for Pleb in mid because he knows he likes to lurk from there.
And that's the impact that you can have as a lurk, even when you're not actively lurking in a round. If your presence is known round in and round out, like that's in the back of those defenders' mind every single time. Hunter's Fury invested here after Dubes goes down. Used it on the spike just to deter. The kills come through as well. The Guardian ringing true for Frosty for 2 more at the end of that round. Not able to get out of line or out of range of the spike detonation. So we do lose the Guardian. We'll have to be reinvested if it's so desired.
Here.
I think it's fine though that he goes down there. He can just buy back up that rifle, you know. But both teams using their neural theft was more advantageous for State than it was for Texas Tech.
Yes, State investing a couple of ultimates there. Are still sitting on Omen's ultimate. Texas Tech still with 2 of their own, still sitting on the Hunter's Fury and then Neon's laser pointer. My affectionate name for it. A lot of information gained there from Zeph, and Zeph is able to follow up. Mississippi State being fearless, getting that spike down. Neon comes onto site, does go down, but Zeph with the trade. And a third as well. Rain was looking for the flank, gets the dink onto Burger without meaning to. Not enough, however.
And I think this round comes down to that dart from Burger. That dart from Burger lights up 3 players to get spammed by Texas Tech. You know, spamming Mississippi State from that choke. So they have a hard time getting in, so they have to go all the way around. And that gives Texas Tech time to rotate towards that A site.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It caused Mississippi State to hesitate, and that it was precious seconds that Texas Tech was able to take advantage of.
Let us
Are seeing a little bit more of a stack towards B for Texas Tech going into this round. Mississippi State, they're really enjoying those splits.
Cutting through.
I think these splits can be punished if Texas Tech play their cards right.
Triggered.
It's very hard to keep a split together, you know. But Mississippi State's made them work to get 5 rounds on the board. So let's see where they can go from these splits that they keep doing.
Well, it looks like this round here looks more of an early presence at B. You know, we saw one Cyber Cage invested. Pleb still holding that flank there as the rotations come through, and Texas Tech starting to commit. It's not quite an overcommittal, but they are sitting. They've given up that A site. Probably just waiting on noise before they try to retake. This owl drone here, not going to find a lot yet. Does find the Neon, and with the reach utility used as well, they can fairly assume that it's coming through, but 40 seconds left in the round. Mississippi State's coming right back. The lurk goes down. Storm was able to find Pleb, and that may give away the ruse, but here's another Rolling Thunder used, and that's what they're going to try to use to get out onto the site. But a great Cyber Cage one way from Texas Tech has halted this progress.
And I see what Mississippi State wanted to do. They want to feed Dubes the orb so he can get this Rolling Thunder so they can take the site.
left.
But honestly, they just did it really slow and they couldn't, you know, rotate fast enough.
Looks like the save call has been made. No punish either. Ties it back up 5 rounds to 5. This has been a very close match. We see Zeph and Pleb leading the charge by way of kills, but this has been very back and forth so far in this first half of map 1.
Very much so. And Texas Tech get the slight advantage because Mississippi State used that Rolling Thunder really late into the round and still lost. So I wonder what Mississippi State's thinking of, seeing the duelist ultimates and the Hunter's Fury on the side of Texas Tech.
Looks like it is going to be a stack here. broken eco for Mississippi State. We see the share from Closo. Excuse me, Closo.
Cage triggered.
Rain not shying away from his ultimate. You see a couple tagged with that cyber cage, but no kills yet again. You do see the Yoru in his ult. Cannot be shot. You can only see him if you're so close, but you do get the visual effect that he is looking at you. Frosty is able to take down one, and Doobs with two more, but now Storms with the answer.
But Zeph already defused the spike, so the round's over.
All of those kills coming too little, too late. Mississippi State looking for that Yoru ultimate to pop, and not quite paying attention to that defuse. And if I'm not mistaken, this may be Texas Tech's first lead of the evening.
It is the very first lead of the evening. But Texas Tech popped 3 ults. They popped the 2 Duelist ultimates to make it and the Hunter's Fury to make a distraction for Zeph to defuse. It's very smart play.
Now, last round of the half here, we do have one ult, that Omen ult by way of Mississippi State. Neural Theft used that was just picked up for Texas Tech, so that's a lot of information. Can't take this Omen ultimate into the next round, so it'll be interesting to see how and if they decide to use that. Pleb yet again on an island. Texas Tech really wanting to hold down mid here. Don't want Mississippi State to be able to split the map like they've been doing throughout this first half.
Cage triggered.
And I think the splits start with Rain. You know, they're starting to punish Rain a lot more for these aggro plays than they were in the first couple rounds of the half.
Yeah, and as we see Texas Tech taking the 7-5 round there, I think you're right. I think the second half of that first half, if you will, Texas Tech played a lot more patient and was able to punish some of that Mississippi State aggression that we talked about in the open. And now that it's roles reversed, we'll have to see from a defending mindset, is Mississippi State still thinking aggression, take the space, or is it going to be more of a, hey, they have to come to us, they have to come to a site, like let's wait on them to make that initial move and then we play the counterattack?
I'm also interested to see how this Yoru will work on the attack side, you know, because you're not playing the utility with the breach, so you're playing only the Yoru flashes and the TP's in sight. So I wonder how that'll work.
For my early season silver gameplay, it's a lot of fake teleports, and then you just teleport to the back of every site every round. And it looks like Mississippi State gambled and sent 4 of their players mid.
Careful now.
Gotta be careful of the Cypher being back, watching the flank, able to take down one. A little bit of a dirty pistol duel there, but A site was free, and Texas Tech has taken advantage of it.
But let's see, how can Mississippi State bring back the spike timer?
One enemy remaining.
Bill's trading back and forth, but it looks like Burger and Storm are making the most, and they do. Zeph cleans up Rain at the end, and Spike down, and 3 players left alive for Texas Tech, and it looks like they are also going to invest in those rifles. We did see the Guardian hovered for Zeph, but 2 Bulldogs and a Vandal. 3 Bulldogs. Looks like they throwing the entire kitchen sink at this round. Mississippi State on the smart side, you know, mostly pistols. You're trying to save up, make sure you have enough for that full buy on the 3rd round of the half. But these Guardians and Bulldogs, along with the 1 Vandal on Storm, could pose a serious threat for this Mississippi State defense.
It also looks like Rain has bought up a Stinger, as well as some light armor on Klaus.
I mean, if Rain's going to have that, like, if I would assume first sign of contact, Rain sliding in, that Stinger close range is a melt machine. So I don't hate the Stinger buy, especially on an aggressive Neon player. However, the Texas Tech attack has stalled. And Mississippi State pushing through mid does have Frosty go down and now Closo as well. Running into the teeth of those rifles. There's that stinger from Rain, able to take down Burger. Both blinded from the Omen. Getting spammed through the box. Neither Dudes nor Rain go down, however, but run right into Storm and that Vandal.
And it's a very clean mid take from Texas Tech to, you know, split MSU apart.
Yeah, for Mississippi State there, you're playing with pistols. You've got the hero stinger, but mostly you're grouped up with your pistols trying to just overwhelm the potential rifles. Not able to make it happen there, and just like that, it is 9 rounds to 5 in this map 1 of the best of 3.
And I need to see, you know, Mississippi State, you know, adapt to how Texas Tech likes to play this attack. They're very patient with how they play this attack. They're waiting for the aggression from Rain, and I want to see Mississippi State punish that a little bit.
We see the 5-man stack outside of A main for Mississippi State here. Excuse me, Texas Tech. Few bits of utility being used, and the call has already been made for Mississippi State to rotate over towards that A site. Hovering right outside of it. And now it's a bit of a waiting game. Closo finds nothing with that owl drone.
Bit of fake information towards that mid play. He doesn't know anyone's there. That smoke might give him a hint, but
Standing ahead.
other than that, he has no idea.
Yeah, the spam shots through the smoke lets him know there's at least one. The recon bolt didn't give away anything. And so a lot of lack of information. Mississippi State sitting in their default, no one over-committing here. You know, I asked the question, would they try to take space on defense as they did in the first half? And it looks like at this point that answer is largely no. But this lack of information looks like it's going to be a really late 20-second execute out onto A for Texas Tech. Rain is here. Not quite able to take down the Neon for Texas Tech. That Phantom not being a one-shot headshot if you have full armor comes back to bite him. And Kristen Cole survives with 10, is forced out from that breach utility. Doob's able to punish that as well. Spike is down, however, and is ticking. Mississippi State, with the numbers advantage, would still have to clear out sight. They do. 2 from Frosty and 1 more from Doobs. And that's their first round of the second half, giving Doobs one more bit of one more ult orb charge. And now, if you're Mississippi State, you keep 4 players alive. You're not having to reinvest into guns as much. That saves some of your economy. You don't have any ults, but Texas Tech only has 1, and I believe this is pretty doable for Mississippi State to battle back into it. You win 1 more round, and you put a big hurt on Texas Tech's economy, and we'll just have to see how they choose to utilize these 5 rifles.
Yeah, I think it's a very big, but I also like how Mississippi State played that retake, playing around Doobsy's utility to, you know, anchor out that Omen that was sitting by the spike. Oh, and here's the aggressive play you were hoping for.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, a lot of, they push out B, up, back, through mid. They have all of the information to know that it's over towards A. They did give A up, and the spike has gone down. But now they have them pincered. Pleb came back through B on the lurk just to make sure there wasn't any, like, lurks from Tech, and now Rain has this duel outside of the defender spawn. They have Tech cornered out onto the site. It's just what utility do you use to entry and then start the elimination. That is a big start, though. Kristen Cole goes down, and now it's a 4v5. The spike continues to take down Rain. Spams Storm through the smoke.
I know exactly where.
Last player
New Trend
standing.
able to follow up with 1 before Mississippi State battles back with 2 more, and that will be a 7th round for Mississippi State here.
I think it's a very nice use of the smokes from the Omen for Mississippi State to block off the sight lines that Texas Tech would use to spam the spike. You know, because they can't see everything. So it's like Texas Tech is going to take a timeout to think over what they should do next.
I don't think this is a bad timeout at all. You were up by 4 rounds. You win the last 2 of the first half, and then you win your first 2 attack rounds. You lose the next 2. Your economy is not quite full. So it could just be an execution thing. It could also be a, hey, let's calm down, let's regroup. We play our pistols or our half buy, and then we come back the next round and do the same thing we did the first 2. Mississippi State, if you give them, I think if you give them one more round, they will definitely have that swagger, and we can see a lot more of that aggression that we saw in that last round. And we saw in that last round, even if they all run out B, they didn't find anyone, but they didn't stop. Their plan was, okay, we don't see anybody. The next step is turn left, head back through mid. Okay, there's no one else here. There's only one other place they can be, and it's A.
And it was a really good read from Texas Tech. They just couldn't take advantage of that open A site that Mississippi State had left. And so they were just, tangled in that A site and couldn't do anything.
The timeout has ended, and the buy round will soon. We'll have to see if the timeout was worth. We do see the 1 hero vandal, a couple of sheriffs, and then a stinger as well for Texas Tech. Gonna break that door before it even closes fully. But that does let Mississippi State know that there is at least 1 rifle on the board for Texas Tech.
Yes, also Texas Tech, if they get the spike down, they can play around this Hunter's Fury that they have. I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for either orbs for the Your Ultimate, or they're looking for a spike plant to help their Sova with the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, we did see Mississippi State execute that twice in the first half, where they got the spike down. That is a great shot from Pleb. To finish my thought, they got the spike down, and then we're able to play a slow defense of that site with that Hunter's Fury, with that breach utility. And if you're Texas Tech, you lose one of your top frags in your Neon, and now the call is still being made. They hesitated a second, they got the smokes down, and now they're going to flood out onto the site
30
here.
seconds left.
Plant is going to go down uncontested. The full 5-man of Mississippi State playing the retake, and 1 already coming through there. The wallbang heady from Pleb. Make it a 5-to-3-man advantage. Beautiful stun from Rain. Takes down 1. Doesn't go down to Storm either. And this was a full Mississippi State round. You get the 2 early kills from Pleb. Not a single person goes down for Mississippi State, and that flawless is quite literally no WWE intended money in the bank for your Mississippi State team here.
That's true. I think Pleb is having a really good game so far. I think he's outshining the Texas Tech Cypher. In most of the ways that he's playing. He's playing the really, patient style that most Cyphers do nowadays. But I wonder, will we see Texas Tech use, maybe the overdrive from their Neon, or maybe the Hunter's Fury, which is what I was hoping for last round.
Yeah, I can definitely see an aggressive Kristen Cole here. Only had the class, but definitely was looking to utilize that overdrive and not able to make it happen. However, the players are also falling for Mississippi State, and after that mid-skirmish, it is a 3-to-2-man advantage for Texas Tech. They also have that B site, and Spike does go down. We thought about the Rolling Thunder from Dubes, but does hold on. Probably waiting on his Sova to get in a better position on this potential flank here, but is caught out with that tripwire.
I think it's a really good aggressive push from Texas Tech to take the defender's spawn. That way, they're kind of enclosing on where Dubes and the Sova is.
He's making a gutsy call to push out onto the site there. Does not check and find Storm, however. Storm does go down, but the round goes by way of Texas Tech, and that's the first team to double digits. It is 10-8, and if you are new to Valorant, it is a 1st to 13. The magic number you are trying to get it to is 13 rounds won. So Texas Tech only 3 rounds away.
And I do like the play from Mississippi State to go aggressive in the mid play. I just think they missed the shots that they wanted to take, and Texas Tech hit the shots they needed to save their round.
Yeah, the kamikaze from Kristen Cole probably caught a couple of those Mississippi State defenders off guard. We see the recon dart hit Kristen Cole in the head. The Hunter's Fury coming through and it takes down, excuse me, that wasn't Kristen Cole, that was Rain. The Hunter's Fury being used from both teams, if I'm not mistaken, but it looks like Texas Tech able to make the most of the aftermath. 2-man to 3. Frosty able to even it up, and Clauso as well. And just as I say it, it's now 2-1 here. Burger Eater dangerously low as well.
Let's see. Does he take out the spike and run? He has the time to play with.
It is finished.
Had the time. I think if he picked up the spike, he knew he was going to have that audio cue. Was kind of hoping that there would still be one on site. Frosty may have been making a little bit of noise there, but the crossfire was there. Also able to clean up. And Mississippi State is not letting this one get out of hand. They were down 4 rounds earlier, but they have clawed back to within 1.
And I think Mississippi State came out the better in the trade of those Hunter's Furies. Sure, they both get 1, but I think before that, they get another kill right after the Hunter's Fury is over. So they just win the trades and have a man advantage.
And not only did they win the ult battle last round, but now they have 4 ultimates to play with.
I mean, all Texas Tech can do now is hope for a pick to use that Cypher ultimate and get a gun. They're on this eco.
And Mississippi State, knowing that is probably a broken buy, plus playing a little safer with those 4 ultimates, they're playing a slow default. They're not rushing up, trying to take that space. They're not at mid. They're not at B. They're playing in the back of these sites and at the back of mid just to, they're going to let Texas Tech step out into their line of sight and make that first move. First move being made. Rain takes down Kristen Cole and follows up with a second. The pistol's not able to challenge the Vandal of Rain, still sitting at full HP. Pleb is playing outside of B here. Does have the 1 trip onto site. Here's the utility going down. The trip has been broken, and there's your call. We see the rotation coming through already. The Rolling Thunder just to secure it, and here is the flood out onto the site. And that W key still being held. No one on the spike yet. They're only down to 2. They know they're both back behind this smoke. And Rain has heard and seen enough. 1 goes down off the flash from Dubes. Also able to clean up the last man, and only 1 ultimate needed there to tie things up at 10 rounds apiece for another flawless round for Mississippi State.
I love this passive style from Mississippi State on their defense against the eco, because as we know, Pleb is really good at this passive wait game. He's been doing it all series long, even though it's only the start of the first map.
It'll be interesting to see for the remainder of this map and moving forward. Mississippi State has seen success playing a more passive, defensive, early round at least, off of the ecos. But with guns in Texas Tech's arsenal, I wonder if they're going to keep that same mentality. We do see a little bit more of an A stack here, and it early is the right call as a grouping of Texas Tech is outside of A main. But it looks like the rotation has already started back towards B. But even that's not safe. You see the full utility kit from Pleb has been set up, and he is the man with the plan on B site.
And I like the Omen ult from Mississippi State to get that info to hold this cross. But it's also a little bit of fake information because it's sent most of their players towards the A side. And so now the B side is open for this Texas Tech squad to take for free.
Yeah, as Spike does go down, that alerts Mississippi State, and the gig is up. Pleb swings out, tries to find an opener, not able to find one, however. Storm playing this close angle through that mid connector is going to get stunned, even though he does get the teleport off. Same song, different verse.
Here we go.
Texas Tech all sitting back behind these smokes and cages. Rain spamming that ultimate, not able to find a kill yet again. And as the trades come through, spraying through those smokes, it's all way of Texas Tech.
And they're looking to hunt Dubes, or just to get away from the spike, and Dubes will fall.
Kristen Cole able to take him down to go back ahead. They only need 2 more rounds. They finally stop that Mississippi State momentum, at least for the moment.
I like the rotation from Texas Tech after they see the Omen ult, and they make slight presence toward that A site, but then they slowly walk away towards that B site with no sound.
I'm out of here.
I'll be interested to see what this call is here. We see Rain with the op. Playing the off angle. Really aggressive play from Storm there. The op has been found out. That element of surprise gone. 4-4 here. Taking a more defensive position now, knowing that his counterpart is down and not with him to hold that B site. But the rotation is slowly coming through from Mississippi State's Omen.
Looks like Texas Tech is gathering up to hit this B site where the operator is. I'm wondering what the call is for this, or if they're just getting the orb.
I know exactly where you are.
Oh, they just wanted the neural theft and able to get it with the shoulder peek. Those 2 procs gonna alert Texas Tech of the presence of Mississippi State. 2 outside A and 2 B, but the call is still being made to rotate towards A. We see Zeph using that Omen ultimate to take that advantageous position just to make sure Mississippi State's not able to make it back site. Pleb gets forced off his headshot.
30 seconds left.
Not
Spike
able to
planted.
spam. Kristen Cole out and Closo goes down. The paranoia comes through and Pleb stuck in a corner by his lonesome also goes down.
Last player standing.
Rossi goes down. It's just Rain and his op. Looks like, yeah, the call is going to be made. Don't take any more of these fights here in case they overwhelm you. Save that investment and take it into the next. We're going to give up game point here, or at least map point. Play around an op next round.
And I still like the call from Texas Tech to, you know, prod around for this neural theft. You know, to just, you know where everything is, know where the operator is and where it can go at the certain moment.
Match
It was a
point.
gutsy call that
Get
definitely
ready.
paid
I go
off.
fast.
Not only did they win the round, but they were able to get a couple of kills initially off of it, was able to make that swing to A site, and they were able to defend it successfully. Now it's match point here for Texas Tech, and if you're Mississippi State, you got to find something in the tank. You have your own neural theft, which is good. You just have to get that 1 kill and get close enough to utilize it. But if you're Texas Tech, you have 3 ultimates to play with here to take 1 more round.
Texas Tech with the two duelist ultimates and still having this Hunter's Fury. I'm surprised I haven't seen it, beforehand.
Take flight.
Utilizing the recon bolt deep mid and then the owl drone to secure all of the shorter positions. Do break the mid door. But Mississippi State going back to that more passive setup. Outside of B, in the back of mid, and then outside of A is where Pleb has set up his infrastructure for Cypher. The op on Rain still sitting at B with support from Colosso and from Duke. However, Texas Tech is slowly making their way towards that A site now.
I think they're reading that the operator's on that B site, so they want to hit the site without the operator. And I'm wondering since they have this Your ultimate, they'll just scour the site to see what they can take.
I'll handle
30
this.
seconds left.
This Euro ult is essentially an owl drone on steroids because you have freedom. Burger utilizing the Hunter Shuri as well does get one tag with it to get a little more information, but that Yoru ult just made sure that that entire A site was clear. Pleb does get Kristen, however,
10
so
seconds left.
opener does go by way of Mississippi
Spike
State.
planted.
Frosty down to 2 HP after that spam. Tries to throw the gun across terrain. And breaks the trip as the Neon slides in. Zev takes down Dubs, but the trade's coming through back and forth. Frosty has picked up the glass cannon op with 2 HP. Is tagged. Recon as well. All of the information gained for a man with 2 HP, and that will be map 1. Texas Tech goes ahead early, falls behind early, able to stretch out a lead and then maintain it despite the Mississippi State comeback.
I think Texas Tech made some really good adaptations, just to get around the Mississippi State defense.
Yeah, you see Rain top of the board in your score, but Burger ends up with 20. You see Storm with 18. Rain has 19. Frosty with 17. But across the board, like kills were coming by way of both teams and every agent on the board. It was just in some of those spam through the smoke gunfights, Texas Tech came out on top a couple of more times.
And it looks like our next map is Abyss. I wonder if they're going to keep this Yoru from Texas Tech.
I'll be interested to see. I was told that Storm really favors his Yoru. Obviously was able to make it work there. Had some very interesting ultimates on that defensive side, jumping into the attacking team, maybe just trying to be more of a distraction than a playmaker in those instances. But it worked, and at the end of the day, like you can't argue with the scoreboard, right? So the Yoru came through. I don't necessarily think that the breach was a bad pick on Dubes or anything like that. I know we saw a lot of mirror picks from the other 4 on each team, but I think a lot of them it just came down to like the random duels, Pleb getting called out here and there, like those 1 or 2 rounds where the lurk was called out and Texas Tech was able to take advantage of it. But if you're Mississippi State, I don't think you're upset with that. Obviously, no one likes to lose, but I wouldn't be upset with that first map at all. This is a best of 3, and now you can come back on this map too.
I agree with that, but I'm wondering why Mississippi State picked the Abyss. If they have a certain strategy against Texas Tech.
I mean, I know it's the newest map in the pool. Maybe they've workshopped it and been in the lab. They could have been with their coach, Bo, and they could have been chefing something up. So I'll be really interested to see what they have going on.
Be very interested to see that too, especially with the Astra changes that has come in this patch.
I have been told that those Astra changes can be monumental, and we could see some more Astra play with those changes. Along with Astra, Chamber also got a little bit of a buff. Back in the day, Chamber was nuts and everywhere on every ranked game, every competitive roster, and then they kind of nerfed him into the floor. So upping that rendezvous could maybe see a chamber pick. I'm not 100% sure. I do believe that it would be more likely to see that Astra pick, but we love to see that the Riot is trying to make all of their agents competitively viable.
Sadly, Harbor cannot be in there. Not yet. But the Astra Omen is what I'm looking for from either team.
I'm here for it. I think Astra's a really unique agent for sure. Omen has been in since the inception of the game. He is a staple and a classic, the edgy boy Omen. I don't play a lot of smokes personally. I was a Brim Daddy main in the beta, because I liked 3 smokes and being able to put them wherever I wanted to. Sadly, we don't see a lot of the bearded gentlemen these days, but I'll take the breach. You know, breach. If in my head canon, breach is like a distant cousin to brimstone, so I'll take the breach from Dubes every chance.
Yep. And I think we'll see the Cypher again from Pleb. And maybe some Neon play from Rain again.
Yeah, I think Rain is an incredible duelist. He is very much not afraid of taking a gunfight or being that first person out onto site or through a smoke or through a cyber cage. Uh, a lot of the times winning his duels, sometimes not going his way, but you know, more times than not, I think they win his way. He was a standout last year as a freshman, so getting a year of experience under him and then coming back as a sophomore, I know that the Mississippi State roster is expecting a lot from him, and I think he performed really well in that first map.
Very good. I think I'm very I don't know if Dubes will play the Sova or Wilcloso, because who's gonna play the Omen for this? Well, not the Omen, but the Astra for this team if we do see it.
Yeah, well, luckily, we won't have to wait too much longer as we are about to start map 2 here on Abyss.
I'm very excited to, get a look at what the teams are thinking for their compositions.
Already seeing some differences coming through. We see Rain locking in the Jet, Dubes on the KO instead of the Breach, and then as we said it, Frosty bringing out the Astra. We're going to get the Astra mirror pick. Tren taking a page out of Dubes' book with the Breach, and then we do see the Neon and Yoru from Kristen Cole and Storm respectively again.
So 2 picks are the same, but on this defending side from Texas Tech, there's no Sentinel. So you gotta be a little bit worried about how they want to defend their sites.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup for sure. You know, they could just be relying a lot on that Astra to provide that full map coverage. However, they could be lacking just a bit. And again, we could be completely wrong, and they could be the people or the team that has some chefed up, cooked up game plan that is going to illuminate all of us.
Right here.
KO's a very unique pick for this map as well, from what I've seen. Or the Breach for one. I think those 2 will be the deciding factors, I think, of what we'll see from each team.
Yeah, talking to Dubes a little bit before the match, he was very confident and excited to play Breach. So I'm interested to see what he has cooked up with this KO. One thing I've learned as we see Storm get the opener here in round 1 with Texas Tech on the defense here is that when it comes to someone as handsome as Dubes, you do not second guess any of their decisions because they are right more times than they are wrong.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I mean, sometimes Dubes can have, he might be big braining or he might be overthinking things, He's had, some problems with overthinking his compositions.
So we could be big brain or smooth brain. Only time will tell. Now 50 seconds left in round 1 here. Storm with a second kill. This time taking down Rain. Frosty able to answer with 1 for Mississippi State. Very slow first round here. Both teams kind of feeling each other out with these pistols.
30 seconds left.
Looks like the eventual call is going to be ending up on the B site. It's the plan.
And again, this
Storm gets 3 before going down, but Pleb with 2 of his own is on low HP, but does bring it into a 2v2. That KO knife does suppress the Neon, so no sprinting and sliding yet. But that Sheriff can take down a lot. We see the nimble footwork from these attackers getting back around that edge
Last player
of the
standing.
pillar.
One enemy
Dubes with the
remaining.
trade, takes down Cole. Is half HP though. Gets it to half and does come off of it. Is tagged, but not enough. The headshot finishing off Dubes, and that first round goes to Texas Tech.
I think this is the tale of two players in this game so far. It's Storm with this Yoru and Pleb with this Cypher for Mississippi State. Storm is just going around and picking the Mississippi State team apart. And Pleb is having a really great time with these lurks.
Yeah, we saw it a lot in map 1. Pleb doing a lot of that attacking Cypher lurk. But as we get into round 2 here, you know, Mississippi State is 1 man away from winning round 1. And now Rain with that Marshall.
Enemy kill.
Misses the first, but don't test him a second. Burger goes down, and that's a lot of information that Mississippi State is taken away from Texas Tech. You no longer have that recon bolt or that owl drone to work with for Texas Tech.
Very much so, but they're also looking to go towards this A side, which has 2 Texas Tech players still.
Pleb picking and choosing his timing, does get that cam down. Not overextending, however, does see one. And the judge coming through for Kristen Cole, taking down Rain. That close range auto shotgun strikes fear into the hearts of millions.
30 seconds left.
It's definitely striking fear into the hearts of Mississippi State. They're already rotating towards this mid area to try and get away from this judge.
Pleb does make the call, has heard a couple of footsteps. May have the timing on the Astra, but gets timinged by Crimson.
10 seconds left.
Kristen, excuse me. Storm there to follow up. Gets called with the utility in his hand. The classic from Frosty, good for 1 before going down. And the forced guns from Texas Tech able to take the second round of map 2.
I think it was an okay call from Mississippi State to go through mid, but I think they were just too slow taking the site.
Yeah, it's a far cry from the whole W, take the space that we were expecting and that we saw a lot of in round 1. You know, that more methodical, slow approach. Not really what we're used to seeing, especially from Dubes and Rain. But, you know, now that they have weapons in their hand, it looks like we're going to see a little bit different here. Stacked outside of A, and it looks like the call may be made to push out sooner rather than later past this first Astra Star.
Revealing area.
Recon bolt tags 2 before it gets destroyed. They do get that ult orb for Dubes. 1 charge closer to that null command. Yet again, Pleb made it into position, not quite able to hit the shots onto Burger. But Burger not scared at all, taking the fight back to him.
Cage triggered.
And it looks like Mississippi State is going right back into this A side with this Astra utility.
Also not able to hit the shots, but Rain there to follow up. Rain good for 2 as Kristen does bail.
30 seconds
No Batman
left.
pun intended there. Pleb is able to take down Kristen, however, and the main advantage now goes towards Mississippi State as the spike goes down.
No more secrets.
Nice flick from Burger. Puts away the Spectre for the Sheriff and is able to take
Standing
them
ahead.
down from that fight earlier. Evens it back up 2 men apiece. Rain is tagged. So they know the position of 1. Shots from
One
Dubes alert
enemy
the second.
remaining.
The Astra does go down, however, and Dubes follows up with the 2-piece to end it. Puts Mississippi State on the board here 2 rounds to 1.
It's a very good round from Dubes and Rain, but also there's a lot of economical damage. Losing 3 players with guns and armor, that's very big for Texas Tech.
Yeah, we do see it looks like they're forcing up here both teams. This is a pivotal round for both teams. Whichever team is able to win the round for one, but also keep more players alive to keep from having to reinvest next round. This round could set you up for the next 2 to 3 rounds if executed well.
Let's see how Dubes wants to use this null command to take the side. If he does want to use it that way.
Counter recon bolt coming through for Burger, not finding anything. Plant does go down. And now the clock is on for Texas Tech. It's still 5 men up for both teams.
I know exactly where.
Right
We do see the null
Pleb
command
just
come
gets another
through.
alert kill.
Flash in hand, waiting on the call. Flash comes through. It's Kristen. One-shot headshot. Does go down, but can be rezzed. Burger good for 2. Trying to watch the body, making sure the res doesn't come off. Rain gives away the position with the gun and gets down Burger. Takes down Do as well. Burger does not go down. But Mississippi State's still able to win the round.
And I think these lurks from plebs are becoming a real problem for Texas Tech. He just gets a pick in mid and then gets out as fast as he can.
And if nothing else, it can be an annoyance. Like on the best end for Mississippi State, pleb lurks and gets a kill or 2. But even when he's not impacting the scoreboard, he's still like, it's almost like that mosquito flying around when you're sitting outside in like by the campfire, right? It's like you can't swat it, you can't get away from it, but it's always there buzzing in your ear. And it's an annoyance that they have had to deal with. And then just when you start thinking about pleb, oh, by the way, here's Rain. Or here's Dubes. Or here's Close-Up. So, not quite able to find Kristen with the owl drone. But 4 players up for each team in this 5th round of map 2.
I'm out of here.
And both duelists ult invested by Texas Tech, but they're shut down immediately by Dubes' knife.
It is a very strong ability, that KO knife for sure. And Rain able to take down Kristen. Burger in that Sheriff, though. He may have found a gun for him. Does whiff on that one. The caster cursed is alive.
30 seconds
Second
left.
shot ringing true, however.
Remaining.
Dubes can't pick his target well, and Burger with 3 on the Sheriff. It's the free rifle as well. Great sight presence and being able to lock down that B site from the Mississippi State attackers.
I think it was a really good play from Texas Tech. Storm just takes care of pleb in mid. And that annoyance is gone. It's like he used the fly swatter, just smacked him. He's gone.
And once pleb is out of the picture, you see how, I don't want to say how much easier, but it almost seems like how much more calm and confident Texas Tech is to just play their sights when they're not having to worry about someone that may be in the back. However, Kristen Cole goes down early, the neon aggression biting them. But pleb falls yet again to Zep. So 4 to 4 already. Storm spamming through the smoke, hearing those jet knives from Rain. But Rain does take down the breach from Texas Tech. The main advantage, Mississippi State. Spike was stopped from being planted for the moment, but does go down now.
Enemy mark. No charges left.
Oh no!
Rain's gonna go
Rain
take,
falls up above.
Rain's taking a sightseeing trip, but in the meantime, we still have men available.
standing.
Rain taking quite a while to get to the bottom of that map, however.
It takes about, 30 seconds for a jet to float down to the bottom of the map and hit the bottom.
Now,
Will he be
does
able to save the
stay
gun in time?
alive? before the end of the round. Not
No, he doesn't.
quite. 1 second more. If I'm Rain, I am mauling not only at myself, but at my teammates. You couldn't get that kill 3 seconds sooner? To save my rifle investment. Hal already had to invest the jet knives, had to invest his dignity to fall off the map, and now I can't even save the Vandal I had?
I mean, most of the time when jets fall off the map, the team wins the round. So honestly, that's just the curse of the jet falling off the map.
You know what? You call it a
Abyss.
curse. I'm going to call it a calculation. I'm going to give Rain the benefit of the doubt in that he purposely fell off the map to bait Texas Tech's defenders onto the site. That's my headcanon. That's what I'm going to roll with. My perception is my reality. But the perception of this round is that Mississippi State has a 4-to-3 man advantage. And this Owl drone is peeking out, gathering so much more info for Mississippi State, and the call is made to flood out onto that A site and get that spike down.
One enemy remaining.
The classic
Very nice
also
kill.
gets down one. Frosty follows up, and now it's the spike actually never went down. Excuse me. It does then, and Rain cleans up. He said, "Look, guys, I may have fell off the map. We ain't gonna talk about it. I'm still gonna get my kills. I'm still gonna rock it. It's fine." And just like that, Mississippi State is up 4-3 here in this first half.
I think that's a very good call from Mississippi State's IGL to head towards that A site and just flood with the gun advantage.
Ultimate's online for both teams. We see that Astra ult alive for both teams. We'll have to see if those are going to be utilized this round or in the coming round soon. Being able to completely split a bomb site in half is can make or break a round depending on what side of it you're on.
I cannot use that.
Oh, and there's the ultimate from Deuce to shut down any use of the Ash ultimate coming through.
Shut down the ult, but his teammates fall. He does still have full HP in that null command. Pleb also on this lurk, but may have been
player
expecting it and does drop Pleb. He's not making it easy, however, is able to take down one more before going down, so at least trying to put a dent in that economy of Texas Tech. But once again, we're back even at 4 apiece.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech is starting to get used to Pleb's rhythm on how he wants to take these lurks, and he's getting punished for it.
Close fought battle in game 1 goes to the way of Texas Tech, but map 2 here. A lot more even. Or I say a lot more even. Mississippi State not quite able to catch up from that 4-round disadvantage in map 1. Playing it even, has played ahead for a couple of rounds, not able to stretch it out, however.
Blocking vision.
A lot of Texas Tech momentarily huddled around outside of A site, now making their way back across the map as the utility rings through for both teams. However, State has made it out onto B side, and the lurk is still there from Pleb. Neural Theft comes through to give away the position of those defenders. In response, Hunter's Fury is invested. I believe it got 1 tag, no kills. O wins the duel with Dudes on the backside of B, and now Mississippi State with their own Hunter's Fury. 3-1 here. Reach the only one left for Texas Tech. Was revealed once, not near the spike, not sure he has time. Looking for the exits, but no one's challenging. Is gonna die to that spike just to keep the money out of the hands of Mississippi State. And just like that, Mississippi State does go back up 5-4.
And again, Pleb is making use of these alert timings. Even though he got punished the last round, he makes use of a different timing in mid. It just waits there for Storm to get aggressive. And the trade from the Sova ultimates went in Mississippi State's favor. Again.
Yeah, when it comes to dueling Sova ultimates, it's one of those, it almost feels like the first one to use it loses, right? Where depending on how successful that first Hunter's Fury is, the counter one coming out almost always seems to find more, even if it's not more kills, just more impact, whether it be denying the plant, denying the defuse, or just denying space, and that was what that one was able to do.
Spike planted.
Looks like A site was completely free for Mississippi State here, but Zeph able to take down Pleb with a headshot from that Sheriff. Could be a free weapon.
One down.
But Rain able to take down Burger. Does he expect the other in front of the smoke? He does not, but is not tagged with the classic. The Neon ultimate invests into the 4v4, but Rain not having any of that. Also hearing all the footsteps around, hiding in that divide, able to take down two, stops the defuse.
Come on,
1v1 here. Made a step, but it was too little too late. Breach not able to turn around in time, and Frosty, you know, sometimes you just need to go hang gliding without a parachute.
I mean, he tried to save the gun without dying to spike, which I thought was pretty smart, but even if he did fall in time, he wouldn't have made it through there. And it looks like Texas Tech will take a timeout.
Yeah, timeout from Texas Tech. I respect the attempt at avoiding the spike detonation, but I feel like you're still going to die to fall damage, and we're not even in Fortnite. If you are Storms in Texas Tech here, however, you've now given up 2 rounds in a row. I believe this is the biggest lead Mississippi State has had map 2. There's only a couple of more rounds in this first half, and then you switch sides. This has been a very even first half of Abyss. So I think you're just kind of trying to rally the troops, make sure everyone's calm, cool, collected, survey your economy, and then play these last rounds out, and then play for the switch for the next pistol.
And I did like the triple flank last round, but Rain shuts it down immediately with that headshot onto the Neon of Texas Tech.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of that last round for Texas Tech was all right, Kristen Cole's going to ult, he's going to find at least one, and then we're just going to, like, snowball after that. The only problem was that Vandal headshot. So now you're looking at, all right, we still have the Astra ult, we still have the Yoru ult. We see the jet knives immediately popped from Rain. And Mississippi State, you know, the jet knives are popped, but they're not rushing aside or anything. We do see the Astra ult from Mississippi State come through, and it is a full bait here. Used it from spawn onto B site, and they are going the opposite direction. A site is completely clear, and that's going to be a free plant before these defenders are able to get back to that side of the map.
What a beautiful call from the IGL of Mississippi State to call that fake with the Astra wall out of the timeout.
Storm wanting to get behind and does the shorty, taking care of Dubes. Zeph following up as well onto site, but the outlaw from Rain, first outlaw kill we've seen today. Not good for the round, but does find one, and that's a big round for Texas Tech. Not only do you get that win, but you only invest one ultimate there. You still have your Astra wall for this next round.
Very. It was a nice use of the Astra wall from Mississippi State, but I think Texas Tech just played the retake really well. Or around it.
Are going to be in a short tech pause here. And I completely agree. I think Texas Tech played that round really well. They were able to execute. We saw the kills coming through while Storm was in his ultimate. Doesn't pop out of it too quickly, even though he's around 3 Mississippi State attackers. He waits and bides his time. The kills come through. He sees Dubes is alone. Plays off the flash. Flashes himself out. Has the shorty. And at that range, I mean, you have 2 shots and 3 feet of distance between you. It's almost a guaranteed kill, right? So able to execute there. And now you have this Astra ultimate still available to you in this last round of this first half.
But I'm wondering, is State even close to any of their other ultimates? Like maybe a no command to stop the cosmic divide from Texas Tech.
That would be huge. I know the null command was invested a few rounds earlier. We'll have to see the scoreboard when we get a chance just to see what our ult charge is looking like across the board. Again, we are in a bit of a tech pause right now.
Technical difficulties. It happens everywhere.
Happens to the best
Especially
and the worst of us.
That is true. Trust me, I have people talking to me about tech problems all the time. It's awkward.
As someone that works in the broadcast industry for my like J Omega Lol B, it's very interesting to come onto esports events and streams and see the tech issues persist globally. It doesn't matter what field of broadcast or technology or industry you're in, they will find you.
I want you guys to go to a random broadcast and count how many tech pauses they have in about like a span of a month, and just write it down and you know, type it in the chat because that'd be funny.
Make sure you tweet at them. They love that, or so I've heard. For the sake of my job, this is sarcasm.
Especially Valorant Champions Tour. They love their tech pauses.
Between tech pauses and timeouts, you gotta serve those ad timers, right?
Ah, that's true. You gotta get all the ads in there.
All the ad reads, all of the Twitch ads, the YouTube ads. Pleblord is ready. Believe we saw a PC reboot. So now that Pleb is back in action, we can get back in the action ourselves. It is the last round of the first half here. Mississippi State up 6 rounds to 5 in the first half of map 2 after dropping map 1 13-10. Kristen Cole also pulling out the outlaw, checking this ankle here. Does need the shoulder, able to get the legs, but not enough. Switches to the Bucky. He's got the full arsenal in this corner here. Also does check him, however, does even get the tag. Dubes goes down on the wide flank and spray through that Astra smoke. And that opens up the A site. Mississippi State's being a little hesitant, knowing that the breach is near.
But Pleb's also taking a really weird timing towards mid. He's staying way back towards the spawn.
Yeah, it looks like Pleb just wanted to make sure the rest of his teammates aren't going to get flanked. Instead of the lurk, more of just like anchoring their
Spike
six.
planted.
Spike does go down off the back of that null command. Dubes is really low HP, but that null command still being used to shut down any denial of that plant. Man advantage still for Mississippi State here.
Look at Pleb, he's taking this timing again towards mid. Looking for that late lurk to deal with the Astra roll that would come in.
Sticking the plant, or sticking the defuse momentarily, the grenade invested to take it down, but it was half and is going to go through. The kills come through as well as the defusal. It was halved before the grenade hit. And that was enough. Ties it up 6-6 on the switch of the half.
And I love the Astra wall from Texas Tech. I think if Pleb takes an earlier timing towards that mid door, mid cubby, then maybe he gets more than the one he got. and maybe Mississippi State win that round.
I agree. You know, he wanted to play it a little safer, didn't want to be too ambitious and get caught out before he was able to make an impact, and it looked like instead he was a little late to the party on that front. However, there's a whole other half to be played. Mississippi State now on this defensive side, not going to stack, instead putting I will say 1.5 at B, and then the other 3 over towards that A site. And on the side of Texas Tech's attack, they're just playing for picks. You leave Spike in spawn, and you just see what happens.
I'm waiting to see the aggression from Texas Tech, especially with this Breach Neon composition.
They have forced Pleb off of his initial angle. The camera's down for another 30 seconds, so there's a lot of room to be had. It looks like Spike has been grabbed and is now huddling outside of B. And the rotation is slowly coming from there too. It looks like it may be a B mid split here. Or at least one will be splitting. Maybe trying to take a play out of Pleb's playbook on the lurk.
But it is the Sova of Texas Tech, which is very odd that you don't see the Astra instead. Because you want that Sova utility for the site take.
You do, however, Spike is still able to go down. No one has lost their life points or HP yet. Pleb whiffs a couple of shots, able to knock down the recon. Maybe shot off the toenail of Burger as he jumps into the hallway. But Burger, again, not scared to take those 1v1s. You see Storm able to take down one. Great crosshair placement. Takes down Rain. Pleb not able to make it work in the classic duel versus Burger. And Dubes with the long range ghost. Able to hit 2. He's tapping heads, ladies and gentlemen. That's 4 for Dubes. The diffuser hits it to half. He's going to have to stick it. He plays for 1. He's playing for the ace or the diffuse. He gets the ace. Not enough time. That's 5 kills on the round for the captain from Mississippi State. But just not enough time. The Spike got to half, but the Astra from Texas Tech was able to take enough.
That has to be, you know, a lifter for motivation for this Mississippi State team. Your captain just got an ace on a team that you've been going back and forth with. Sure, you lost the round, but the motivation just went from at least a 10 to like a 30.
Knife is destroyed there, so there's at least 2 from the rifle shots. However, even with the ace, Dube's still sitting on a sheriff.
Is halfway towards
rest of play from Closo does have the teammate there, but the Stinger long range for that SMG is able to take them down 4v3. Rain preferring the Marshal to the Outlaw, holding down the A site all by himself. Spike was hovering outside of B, but deciding to rotate after the 2 kills being made.
We have seen Rain take off heads with this Marshal on the attack side. Let's see if he can do it on the defensive side.
We'll have the opportunity to, if I had to guess, Neon enters with a slide. No, it's just a dry peek from Burger and loses his life for it.
30 seconds left.
Able to avoid updraft hit. Saw the barrel. Maybe a little trigger happy there. Able to dodge his way out at 19 HP, playing his life. Not able to hit the no-scope, however. Swings off of the knife, but Dubes and that Sheriff does follow up. 2v2, the flank from Pleb. Dubes with the Sheriff. It's 1v1. And one shot from the Sheriff. One shot headshot. Takes the Vandal. Takes his stroll across the catwalk. Gets the defuse. That's a null command and a 7th round for Mississippi State's captain.
1 shot, 3 kills from the captain of Mississippi State to put them even on winning the anti-ecos against Texas Tech.
Now, the last round was big in getting the ace and losing the round, but cleaning up and winning the round only furthers. And now you see a bunch of pistols sitting in Texas Tech spawn as now they're out of money, and Mississippi State, off of that, you know, eco early half buy, is now able to fully invest and can really, you know, they can execute any game plan they want.
Well, let's see if they can use the null command to take a site. Or they're gonna... Well, not take a site, because they're defending. Oh, wow.
There.
On the side of Texas Tech, you see a lot of util invested towards mid. That knife still coming through. Dubes is fearless after his last 2 rounds. The knife does get destroyed, but he does see at least 2. Texas Tech now leaving mid, slowly circling back towards that A site. No one actively on it, but plenty of Cypher util.
Camera taken out.
I think Texas Tech could be just looking for this orb. No, it looks like they're going onto the site.
Why destroyed?
1 star invested. They broke the camera. They broke the trip. Pleb's been tagged down. Not able to spam through. Able to spam through with the help of Dude's nade. Denies the spike. Gets the kill. Rain follows up with the Phantom for one of his own. Spike is out on site. That Cyber Cage is going to stop Texas Tech getting it back. Dubes and Rain ringing true for 2 more, and Rain with a 3rd. A flawless round on the full buy for Mississippi State.
And Dubes again, being that solid pillar that Mississippi State needs to win this game.
Here.
Yeah, it almost seems like after that first half, Dubes is just kind of backpacked Mississippi State and said, all right, I'm the captain. I'll shoulder the weight. Like, everyone do their job, and I'll make sure that we get here. And at 8 rounds to 7, he is doing just that.
The Thanos moment, as they call it.
Yeah. Dubes is inevitable. Rain able to back out, gets 1 and the follow-up. Clauso goes down, but Rain makes it worth it. Does not take a single point of damage and able to take down 2 for the trade from Texas Tech. After those 2 go down, the call is immediately to swing towards A, but guess who's already there? Was Pleb. Storm had other ideas.
But now we see the difference between the Mississippi State composition and the composition from Texas Tech. They still have that info initiator, even with Asoba gone, but it looks like it won't matter.
Burger swinging out the backside of that smoke right before it dissipated, able to take Rain and Dubes. Little by surprise there, it seemed. Able to take both of them down. Zeph rings true with one of their own and ties it back up at 8-8. They said, "Oh, whoa, let's calm things down here a bit. You know, we took map 1 for a reason." But if you're Texas Tech, 4 ultimates online.
They had you in the first half, not gonna lie, but here we go again.
Who's next?
There's the first of the 4 utilized. Yoru gonna single-handedly clear out that B site between the Astra smokes, the Jet smokes. There's plenty to hide from and in. Spike is going down. Zeph is planted. The Jet knives come out for Rain as well from Mississippi State.
And the null command to make sure Storm can't get away with these TPs.
And 2 daggers, 2 kills. Rain making his presence felt. The null command Jet knife combo is so dirty. Dubes is killed. Breach caught with a ability in his hand. And once again, it's just Burger, Rain taking a trip.
And
also able to take him down. Does Rain stay alive this time? I saw the last ditch effort shot from the fadeaway, and does stay alive to keep the rifle. He said, "My people
Rain
need
actually
me."
hit him.
That was incredible. You learn something new every day. Kids, don't try this at home. Rain is simply just better.
He is simply just better. He was trying to pull a Smoggy. It simply flowed away to where you can have a better angle at the person in window.
The Valorant equivalent of a James Harden fadeaway.
Fans is real. But
Burger
still,
is
3
able
ults
to-
for Texas Tech.
Yeah, 3 ults still on the board. Colosso takes down Storm, and that has been their guy. When they needed to kill, Storm has been the one to come up clutch. So him going down first does not bode well for Texas Tech on this round. Again, 3 ultimates to play with. Also just jump spotting, making sure no one's at B. However, the presence is now moving towards mid.
They're waiting for someone to take a peek at something.
Out of charges.
Kristen Cole,
Waiting for noise.
enough patience. Pops the ult and goes in, but the crossfire beautifully set up between Frosty and Colosso here. And Pleblord, never too far out of sight and out of mind, is able to pick up the last 2 kills of the round.
Yeah. Looks
Another
like we'll get a timeout from Texas Tech.
We are. And at this point, it's, you know, Mississippi State seems like they're starting to click. You know, those cylinders are starting to fire, the gears are starting to turn, and they're starting to rattle off not only rounds, but also just within rounds. The kills that they're securing are just coming smoother and quicker as this game progresses. So this is, in my opinion, probably a mental reset, but also just a physical reset to try to stop some of that momentum for Mississippi State.
I think they also might be thinking about if they want to use this Rolling Thunder or this Astro Wall in this current round, even with the Astro Wall on the other side for Mississippi State.
And those are big decisions to make, right? Again, this is like to win the map, it's first to 13. It was roles reversed in map 1 where Mississippi State was at 8 when Texas Tech was at 10. And so if you're Texas Tech, you're playing from behind. But again, you do have those 2 ultimates and strong ultimates that can turn the tide of a round.
Here.
Let's see how they put timeout into action.
Dube's knife could reveal a lot of info.
5 suppressed.
All 5 have been suppressed. If that was on your bingo
boy.
card, congratulations. But
I
with
definitely
that
had it on my bingo
information,
card.
you could see on the mini-map, like, Mississippi State sending 1 or 2 over towards mid, not over-committing, but definitely making known and respecting the fact that there were 5 stacked outside of this site. Now we see the spike and the splits slowly start coming through and the rotate starting to occur.
And I think this pause from Texas Tech is beautiful because it's making Mississippi State double think about where they're going. You can see Dubes rotating towards that B site.
And it was all just a delay. There was never a rotation to be had. They just sat outside of A. There was no aggression or utility used to confirm that. You see
Right
Astra
there.
sitting way back with the spike, but these other 3 attackers for Texas Tech are getting ready to execute out onto this site. No one's out on site for Mississippi State. Storm is able to break that trip out onto B, and I think they're respecting that trip. You see Pleb moving over towards B, but here is that Rolling Thunder out onto A just to secure it. Frosty not hit with the Rolling Thunder, but is stunned momentarily. The headshot comes through onto Kristen, however. Trying to stop that plant, not going to be able to make it happen. Stopped it momentarily, but does get that first kill to bring the numbers in the Mississippi State advantage. This, we see the ultimate coming through here, divides that ult. They're going to have to play out onto the site, not in the safety of that back lane, and the kills are coming through for Mississippi State. Everyone on the board contributing. There's only one left. It is Storm, and not able to get back behind. And that is an 11th round for Mississippi State. Now only 2 away from forcing the map 3.
And what a beautiful use of the Astral by Frost. He just cuts off any, presence that Texas Tech may have off the site.
You're absolutely
correct. And it
correct.
cuts off Storm.
Absolutely correct. And if you're Texas Tech, you invested that Rolling Thunder to secure the spike plant, but then you didn't invest the Astral Wall, so you do still have it. But now, on its lonesome, it is more of a post-plant ult, I would think, unless they have a shot call where they can use it to try to get out onto site, try to cover up just a corner to where you can get that spike down with these pistols.
Or they can do a Carbon Core play and have a corner of the Astral, hidden to where, Storm can teleport using the TP inside the Astral ultimate without Mississippi State hearing anything.
This man is adding more wrinkles to my brain as this stream goes on. I love the thoughts. But Pleb playing a dangerous game there. Is wall banged. Probably not going to peek it again. Goes to the cam for a second.
I must wait a moment.
They're up in mid. It's a normal thing that they're starting to do now, but I wonder how they can get off of holding this mid pressure.
Looks like the cavalry are gathering outside of B main. What do they have to execute? You do still have the Astral Wall, a couple of stars being used from both sides. That breach ability trying to stun out. Jet is able to get out. The crossfire from Pleb and Rain.
That's the spike.
That's the neural theft. Storm goes down as well. They know the rest of the gang is here. Dutrin goes down, and so does Zeph. There's only one more, and Burger goes down. Empty stomach and full round win for Mississippi State. It is match point here, and the Hunter's Fury to boot.
And Rain with 24 kills. Dube's right by his side with 22. 26. Wow. I'm miscounting. I have to, get new lenses, I guess. It doesn't work.
A little birdie told me that you could get some great glasses at Blue Light. Blue Light glasses are actually pretty clutch. I have a pair or two myself.
I was thinking about getting a pair of those, but let's look at this round here. We have 200 Furies, and last round, Cole didn't get much value because he ran in with the spike and died instantly, so they couldn't plant.
Yeah, goes in is good for one, but the immediate trade and losing the spike definitely did not help in the longevity of that round. A little bit of mid presence for Texas Tech here, knowing that they are on the losing end of this match point, having to play a little slower and a little safer. We'll see if this peak does come into Rain's op, and does. That is the breach down. That is, you are losing flashes and stuns. However, the trade comes through. The whiff from the op. There's the Hunter's Fury coming through to cover Rain's retreat. We do see the one tag. Not able to get the kill onto Storm, but half HP. Rain playing on the other side. Can't hear the plant because of the Astral Wall. Shorty in hand, however, and now Texas Tech full retreating back to main, but Pleb does take down Storm. That could be big here. Does give the man advantage back to Mississippi State, and the blind fire through the smoke takes down Zeph. They knew the Hunter's Fury was coming, but the flank from Rain whiffs the op shot, but the Shorty rings true. Burger's on his lonesome with that Hunter's Fury and goes down. That will be round 13 win for Mississippi State, and that will be a map victory for Mississippi State to force the map 3.
Casters came on. and I think that's just a beautiful map from Mississippi State with the pleb lurks, Rain and Dubes going hand in hand with 20-ish kills apiece. Rain almost dropping 30 in that match.
Yeah,
But I
and
think
that was.
some
Go ahead, finish your thought.
I think it was just some technical errors, pun intended, from Texas Tech.
Yeah, I think this is the Mississippi State that we were expecting to see. You know, Rain flying around, getting the kills, Dubes gets the ace, follows it up with a clutch 3K, like the captain doing captain things, but not anything against the rest of this Mississippi State squad. Pleb with the lurks, Classo and Frosty, opportune kills and opportune utility to bring round wins when needed. And overall, a solid second half to distance this victory for Mississippi State that after what was a very, very close first half.
I think MSU played that second half really well after they saw some things that Texas Tech like to do. It's like some ticks, that people have.
Oh yeah, and at the end, like nothing against Texas Tech. Like they took round one or they took map one. So they're obviously nothing to scoff at. Dubes told us ahead of time that this was going to be a duel like between these two programs and these two teams where it was going to be a very close fought match. And here we are. We're getting a free map 3 out of it. What more could you want than free Valorant on a Friday night?
I mean, you can't ask for much more. I mean, literally just the Bulldogs and Texas Tech just going back and forth, back and forth. It's been very close, and looks like the next map will be Haven.
I personally am excited to see these teams play on Haven. I've seen some clips in the highlight reel of Mississippi State Valorant history that have come from Haven. And again, it's a little different, right? We've just been on two standard two-site three-lane maps, and Haven's different in that it does have three sites. So like these defenders are going to have to be a little more intentional with how they decide to defend three sites instead of two. It may be a little different for Pleb in his lurking, if that is his role on this map as well. In at least on the attacking side for Mississippi State, right? There's no longer a mid for you to play around. You're mostly playing through those like short lanes into one of those sites. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams diversify their game plans and maybe even diversify their agent selection going into this map 3.
Well, we know Storm's gonna play the Yoru, but what can they build around the Yoru to make it successful?
Yeah,
For
I've
Texas
seen a
Tech?
lot of successful Yorus played on Haven. There are definitely instances of being able to play behind smokes and then getting your teleports behind your defenders, or if you're trying to hold that site post plant behind the would be defenders trying to then get that defuse. But at the end of the day, like Yoru, a lot of Yorus sometimes have a very individualistic play style, and it's going to be a little different playing as we saw in that map too, where Storm couldn't just frag out on his own, kind of like he did on Sunset in map 1.
Yeah, and I'm curious if we see the breach again from Dubes, because it worked kind of well in the first map, but then you switched to the KO in map 2, and it worked a wondrous, thing for the Mississippi State team.
Yeah, and I think it may be a little different where, Breach has a lot of utility, but certain abilities you have to play either behind walls or around corners to utilize them, right? And when you have that KO, it's a little more Counter Strike esque. I hesitate to say that. I know like all the Riot aficionados are gonna hunt me with
You
and
didn't.
torches now, but KO is a little more of that. You have your flash, you have your grenade, you can throw it, you can pop flash it, you can underhand it, you can bounce it off walls and things like that. but you don't necessarily have to play behind a wall. You can play behind a smoke if you want to, and you're still able to execute these same types of abilities.
Yeah, that's true. I'm wondering if we'll see either the Omen, which is normally played on this map. I know some people or some teams have experimented with Astra on this map, but I don't think it'll be as good as what the Omen usually brings to the table.
I would have to agree. I think Omen is just a staple on Haven. Um, Even if the shrouded step teleports aren't as like widely used, there's not besides the B site, there's not a lot of different places that it is widely used, or A and B site, I should say. But we may see that Astra. That cosmic divide is a really impactful ultimate, and then those utilizing that multitude of stars to place your smokes throughout the round and not have to wait that 30+ second cooldown that you would for an Omen smoke to recharge if you throw a smoke at the beginning of the round and then waiting on it to recharge.
And now I'm curious, what does Rain play? Does he go back to the Neon or does he stick with the Jet like in map 2?
I think that's a great question. Rain, I've also known Rain to play a really great Raze, and I don't know if that's something that we may see today, but I know that that is an agent that is in his arsenal. I think he has been impactful with the Neon and the Jet both today. Like obviously dropping 29 in map 2, the Jet seemed to be more impactful, those knives, and then being able to utilize Abyss's more movement friendly map design, hopping around those corners we saw in that last round, being able to get a small like flank, if you want to call it that, onto two of those Texas Tech defenders. So it's a great question. If do we see a Phoenix or just something crazy off the wall? I don't really think we would, but wouldn't that be something?
Phoenix would definitely be off the wall, but sadly, Raze people don't play Raze on this map, which is a shame, really. People love Raze, but sadly, she's just not the best on this map.
Yeah, and I don't even necessarily think that that Raze is bad. It's just that there are just better picks out there, especially for that duelist role and for that initiator role. Like for those frag heavy players that like to get in and be like your entries, there are just better available agents than Raze in the current meta.
That's true. So we'll definitely see the cipher from both teams because I don't think Texas Tech want to go again with no Sentinel on, especially on Haven, where you need at least one Sentinel, or else things aren't going to work as well as you might.
I absolutely agree. I think Cypher is almost a necessity for a 3 site map. Um, Haven especially, but we don't have to speculate any longer because we are about to jump into map 3 here. Again, this is just week 1 of SEC Valorant, and we're already getting map 3s. I cannot wait for the rest of this season, and I can't wait to see what the rest of these teams are going to bring out for us as we see the agent selection coming.
Oh, it's a Neon again for Rain. And most of these things are pretty standard. Do Trin going with the Killjoy instead of the Cypher.
Killjoy instead of a Cypher could work. I think OG Killjoy with her near infinite, turret radius and sensor radius, is days gone. But Killjoy is, I, I mean, it still functions the same way, right? You can place your turret and your sensor on C, and you can sit in like B link and still have them up to like watch C site if they're like are like attackers that come onto site, right? So it is there. We do see the breach coming back out on Dubes, and then a little bit of a conversation going on for these last 2 agent selects for Texas Tech here.
I think it's because Kristen Cole is normally the normal duelist player, and then Storm is that tricky Yoru player. And they're deciding if they want to keep this Yoru or they want to switch off it to go to a normal composition for this map.
And it looks like Storm is going to hang up the Yoru for map 3 in favor of
Our
the
teammate blue
Jet.
screen in the middle of this, just by the way. So Oh, blue screener.
As we're seeing, gonna get a bit of a pause here. One of our players blue screen during the character select. So, yet again, just a little tech issue. No big deal. It happens to the best of us.
It happens to most of us. If you're not careful.
I mean, if you don't get a tech pause or a tech issue at least once, are you even a real streamer, content creator, like broadcasts? Like I just it's not real unless you have one tech issue.
Well, while they're getting that issue fixed, you get to see more of us. Hi, we're here.
Hello, for better or worse, you get to see our faces.
Yes. Maybe smiling, maybe not. I.
But again, I'm really excited. I talked about it a little bit when you saw us last, like 90 seconds ago. But I'm excited to see what the SEC is going to hold for this upcoming season. You know, I was told that Texas Tech was a pretty good team. Like, obviously, Mississippi State is a strong team. Dubes returning as your captain. Third year of collegiate. You have Rain coming back in his sophomore season. A really stellar freshman performance. And then the freshman duo of Pleb and Colosso. Like they've apparently known each other for years. They're both here on the like senior team for Mississippi State, and they've both proven why they earn those spots.
Very much so. I think these spots were earned for a reason. They've shown why they've earned these spots, but I think Texas Tech's players have also shown why they have earned their spot as well. Since it's a very close match, I feel like this would go either way on map 3.
Oh, it absolutely could, right? Now, as like a Mississippi State fan, obviously, you know, shout out. We're not gonna be we're not quite impartial like hosts here. We're Mississippi State fans. We'll say it. We're streaming to the Mississippi State Twitch channel, but we've seen some great Valorant. Like regardless of what team you're rooting for, you have to admit that this has been great Valorant from both teams, and we can only hope that it continues into this third map here, as we are back and in and getting ready for this map 3.
Yep. I'm kind of hoping to see what this Killjoy could do instead of the Cypher.
I'm interested as well. Like we haven't seen a Killjoy yet today. You know, the turret does not necessarily use for a lot of damage. I would be remiss to say if I didn't say I would love to see a cheeky turret kill late in the round on somebody that's really low. But the sensor's really effective, and then the Killjoy ultimate is a stationary KO ult, essentially, where like you have plenty of time to get out of the range of it or destroy it, but if you don't, like you're locked. Like there's not much you can do about it. So it I will be interested to see if Texas Tech is able to utilize that Killjoy effectively against Mississippi State.
Looks like we're still slightly paused. Maybe a tech issue or something, but that'll get fixed very quickly. Hopefully. Putting the quotes. Looks like we're good to go.
I think the players are probably tired of us yapping as much as they're ready to play this map 3 here. They can't hear us as far as we know. But
yep.
Everyone watching us on Twitch, we do appreciate y'all tuning in. It means a lot to us and the production team behind the scenes to have the eyes on the chatters in chat, whether you're chatting, lurking, or whatever it may be. We do appreciate y'all, and we know the players do as well, supporting each program here, competing.
Yep, very much so. Let's see how round 1 starts. Looks like it's just your normal setup. Texas Tech.
RC and the Killjoy Util over on C. Rain making a little bit of noise down at the bottom of mid, just trying to see if anybody wants to challenge. Storm picked up that ult orb at the beginning of the round and now is slowly creeping up.
He's
Not
looking to
able to combo
challenge
off of
this.
the breach.
Without that breach utility, he doesn't have much to stay here for.
Yeah,
It's a
probably
one
just
and done
seeing
spot.
if Mississippi State wanted to over-aggress onto that Omen that was peeking out, but Mississippi State instead chose to rotate to an open C site and is able to get the spike down without losing a single member. Storm does push through and take down Frosty, and that is the smokes for Mississippi State. That could come back to haunt them late in this round, as they are all...
Especially with...
Well, especially with all 5 members up. The shock dart's coming through, the chip damage, and Doobs taking down one. Storm pushing through and takes down another. But this spam through the smoke from Texas Tech actually being more of a detriment. Doobs rushes in to stop one more. Rain not able to follow up, does get taken down by Burger, and with 2 seconds left, the defuse comes through. First round of map 3 goes to Texas Tech.
I think Mississippi State kind of rushed after they heard the tap of the spike for the second time. I think they really rushed that.
I agree. We saw Doobs chase through the smoke and get right-clicked classicked. Say that 5 times fast. But does go down there when it wasn't quite halfway. It may have been because they, in that map too, they did get, you know, diffused a couple of times with men still standing. And Storm taking down Rain with the Outlaw. That's going to be a big detriment for Mississippi State's attack here for the second round.
Storm also did take some damage, so he is low, which I'm pretty sure Rain is common to his team right now.
See the reposition from Storm, not quite able to see that mid-window angle. That play forced up that Bulldog on the defuse. See, Doobs is fearless, even with only a Sheriff. Recon arrow does get destroyed, but not before revealing one. The breach util comes through. Paranoia to counter, however. One-way smoke does what it's intended. Also takes down one. Pleb on the lurk, not able to out-battle the Guardian with that classic, however. And a 3K from Storm, and that Outlaw gives Texas Tech a second round.
And I like what Texas Tech is doing with the Jet. It's very aggressive, like how he normally played the Yoru, but it's sort of he's waiting for his util from his teammates, like a play.
Yeah, great team play in setting up Storm to be successful on that Jet. You know, Yoru, you can be a little more individualistic. You know, you can pop flash yourself out, or you could flash off one of your opponents out. Does miss with the Outlaw there. Pleb maybe a bit lucky to escape. Cloudstep coming through. Rain not respecting it, however, is taking advantage of the stunned form and gets a second onto Kristen Cole, able to get away with no ammo left. Great spam onto Burger as well. Rain is on fire this round, and this is one thing that Neon can do, where Jet only has that one dash that you would have to reset. Rain in this sliding Neon is just cleaning up round 3.
Rain with the ace just takes Texas Tech by the collar and says, "No, I will not be beaten like this."
Yeah, that seemed a little personal. You know, maybe I'm sure he didn't like getting first blooded in that second round. He wanted to make up for it and did so in a big way. Gets Mississippi State on the board here.
Yep. But honestly, it's important for the vibes of the team that Rain gets that ace. He does have the overdrive, but I highly doubt he'll use it this round.
Yeah, Phantom in hand, similar to a jet knife situation. If you have a rifle, you know, there's not a necessity to need it. It's more of just a preference. And then, I mean, we've seen the Neon ults today. They have not been very fruitful. He is able to make it completely through. Takes out Storm, but not before Colosso goes down. So that is a trade. Does pop the ultimate now. If nothing more than spam, just making sure this plant is successful, and it is. Pleb slowly creeping up mid here. Will be behind 1 or 2, but it looks like Omen is aware. Post plant is set up. Zeph does take down Pleb. Now the 4 remaining Texas Tech defenders can focus on the spike. Smoke does go down.
And I think
one way as well. Fuse is tapped. They are playing a little closer here. Reach is going to have to get out of his cubby to avoid that damage.
Last player standing.
Takes one, but is tagged with the dart. Does kill the diffuser, but with 2 defenders left, it's gonna be a close one.
Clutch.
And he gets
this
it.
time, Mississippi State is on the side. Half a second. So that last kill was enough for Mississippi State. Evens it back up 2 rounds apiece. And this map 3 is going just like the first 2. 2 juggernauts swinging, trading blows back and forth. We're tied up 2 rounds to 2.
I think that was very dangerous for Mississippi State, especially losing Colosso. They had no way to know when he's on the spike with those smokes. Rain getting aggressive.
Not ready yet.
Zeph not able to do anything against Colosso. Also good for 2. Dubes follows up onto Storm. This may be a 3rd round for Mississippi State. Burger does hit the dart to C2.
Spike planted.
But how much is that information
Placing
worth?
swarm grenade.
We do see the nano swarm. Gonna clear out that close cubby. No one home, however.
I mean, if Mississippi State wanted to, they could just fill the space with someone since they knew the nanoswarm cleared it.
Instead, Owl Drone is invested. Doesn't see anything yet, however. Looks like Texas Tech is okay with just playing for exits. Dude Trend not going to find anything there. Nice double peek from Mississippi State. Burger is practicing his climbing here and right outside of spawn. His bouldering,
It's turning into Spider-Man. Man's turning into Spider-Man. Now he's climbing that. He does.
And Mississippi State takes their first lead of map 3. They have been attack side first half, all 3 maps. And now 3 rounds to 2 here, looking to expand their lead.
And look at Dupes. He has this rolling thunder to use on this A site, which I think that's what they're looking for right now.
See the first kill from Storm on that op. Big opener.
It's an even bigger opener because that gets rid of the rolling thunder from Dubes.
No ultimates currently on the table for Mississippi State after losing that one.
Oops.
And again, a nice execution. Waits for the pop flash from his teammate. Peeks a fully blind Rain who never saw it coming.
Huge.
Nice spray there. Has the 2v1. Paranora misses, but does take down one on the split. TP comes through as well, able to make it out towards a long. Rare whiff from Storm there, but Frosty holding the angle. Does get the headshot onto the Sova. And all this time, Clauso was making his way up
Spike
towards
down,
B. Dutrin, not fooled, however. And that is Spike as well.
Oh, and look at this cross. It's just nasty.
10 seconds, not much that Frosty could do with it there. And Texas Tech, not to be denied, evens it back up at 3 rounds apiece.
I mean, Mississippi State can be mad at that round, but also they kind of can. They got 3 more ults on that round.
Oh, absolutely. You lose the round, but you pick up 3 ultimates, so now you have 4 to the 1 Omen ult, which is a very situational ult. So I think Mississippi State's probably okay with the ending of that round. You know, you don't like to lose rounds, but you know, you count your losses, and that one's probably not as big a loss as it could be. One negative, however, is that this operator is still in Storm's hand.
Frosting might be looking to peek it. Nope.
Burger takes down Pleb. Sneaking out towards Grass. Does get taken down through the doors. That it looks
I don't
to be
think
a
Pleb's
signal.
having a good time.
Yeah, it seems to be a signal to Texas Tech to start a slow rotation. They're slowly creeping Killjoy towards back C. There's now 2 players on B, and then Omen hanging out around the defender's spawn. Rain doesn't see... Dude, that's his teammate Omen up top. I was confused. However, the recon bolt does reveal the locations. Spike is planted and down. Also doesn't check the close left. Burger was penguining Killjoy's turret. Was able to take down 2, and Zeph finds the last. Burger with a 4K on that round and gets the defuse.
Don't beat yourself.
Well, is going to give up the defuse for the ult orb as he already has his Hunter's Fury. A flawless round for Texas Tech puts them up 4 rounds to 3.
The chef is in the kitchen, they say, because Burger is just destroying Pleb on these lyrics. It's not working. He's not having a good time on these lyrics.
Yeah, and that I called that a little bit between map 2 and 3, where it's a little different on these 3 site maps where the lurks aren't as, I hesitate to say easy, because a successful lurker, it is a difficult role to fill, but there are just less angles that aren't as close to the bot. Storm is blinded off of the angle and not able to hit the off shot there. Until invested recon bolt hitting Rain, but silence is not their strategy here. It's get out onto the seaside and get that spike down.
Very fast take from Mississippi State.
And now the kills are starting to come through. Traded. Kristen Cole takes down 2. Now investing that Rolling Thunder to hit that 1-player backside is Frosty. He's not hit by it. Almost whiffs. Takes down 1, but it's Storm with the whiff. Storm's now low after that. Hunter's Fury to deny. Holding on to that Hunter's Fury. Only uses 2 charges of it.
1 enemy remaining.
Storm being low. That was a beautiful crosshair placement and shot selection from Clauso. Cancels the ult to take down Breach. Then goes after Storm, who whiffs that op shot already low, and then able to stop the Killjoy from defusing.
And you can see how excited he was after he got that clutch. He's shaking his mouse around. He's hyping up his teammates, telling them, come on, we can win this game.
It's a DPI diff, and it is 4 rounds to 4 here.
Go, go.
I know
Shadow
exactly where.
Forced off the angle.
I'm out of here.
Trades come through 4v4. Plebs is on the giving end of it this time, but Rain executing off of the flash takes down 2, and that's a site now for Mississippi State in a 4-to-2 man advantage. And it looks like Texas Tech may just be looking to save here. They backtrack through B, and it looks like they're just going to hold their angles outside of C Link.
What a beautiful plan from Mississippi State. They said, okay, what is our biggest problem? It's Shadow or Storm with this operator. And they said, let's make sure that Storm cannot play the game with Deuce's utility.
Mississippi State definitely content with just taking the round here. No reason to jeopardize any guns trying to force. Also going to stay in his cheeky corner, able to stay alive. Still riding the high of that last round, I'm sure.
Very much so.
Now, one thing we do see, not only were 2 members of Texas Tech able to stay alive, but they were able to save that operator for Storm. So Jet still has the op, only has light armor, but does have that op, even into this 10th round.
Yeah, with Rain having access to that overdrive, I wonder how he'll go against this operator. And
playing in the back of that B side, able to avoid the flash and takes down Rain. That takes out the overdrive. Also momentarily lost Spike, as I think Rain may have had Spike as well.
Cage triggered.
So a quick reset for Mississippi State as they reevaluate their options.
Shadows traveling.
Able to take out the sensor and one of the nano swarms. Not able to get the second, but able to avoid it. Plant is tapped, but not down yet.
some spam damage on the Storm.
Down to below 50 HP.
Spike planted.
You see Burger Eater making sure that they're not able to get back. Wasn't going to hit the trip, but Storm takes down Pleb. This could be a great pinch that Burger's going to have here. Also gets one, but Kristen takes down two of his own. And there is the last. Burger able to get around through that C main down C long. Takes down Dubes and evens it back up at 5 rounds apiece here. We are back and forth in map 3.
Man, it's like the start of every map goes like this. It's just back and forth and back and forth. The only difference is when they go to the other side of the map. That's when things change. So I wonder what we'll see the changes during the halftime switch.
I agree. The difference in map 2 was definitely the Mississippi State defense. In it also may have been a bit of like agent select. I just think that the KO and the Jet were a little more impactful than the Neon in that map 2. We do see this round, at least, Mississippi State 5 manning outside of C. Does get tagged. Also takes and is the bullet sponge for Storm. They are able to trade him out, but Rain, utilizing this overdrive, is able to take down one, then stun to oblivion and goes down. But this Killjoy is still on side here. 2 bullets in a dream, but it's Zeph who is able to TP behind the rest of the Mississippi State attackers and take them down before the spike even goes down. That's 6-5 Texas Tech, and they have plenty of money going into this last round.
The double operator pick. I haven't seen this Carmine Core back like a year ago, which they were trolling. But yes, they played this a year ago. But they also had guns for the second operator player.
And it looks like it's going to be the same thing. We saw the Vandal buy there. Jet has her knives, so maybe not even really worrying about a secondary weapon. 3 ultimates for the side of Texas Tech. Only that Rolling Thunder on Dubes for Mississippi State. Rain is able to force his way and get out onto that C site without taking too much damage. There's a Rolling Thunder as well. Rain wanting to capitalize, does take down one before Paranoid out. Does escape with his life, however. Pleb Lord able to take down Burger that was pushed up a little bit through into the hut. Kristen wants to clear out this back corner, but Frosty maintains. Does get flashed, but Dubes is good for one. There's the smoke down, but Jet not able to make anything happen. It's just Zeph, and Zeph goes down. Rain with a 3K and brings it even. This first half is ending 6 rounds to 6.
This is the second time this happened. I mean, map 1, it was a 7-5 half. But map 2 and 3, we've had 6-6 halves. They've been dead even.
Here.
And now I think we're going to get to see, is this attack Killjoy going to be able to provide that benefit that they're going to need to take 13, not 12, not 11, 13.
Now, we know what the Breach can do on the defensive side. It normally wants to set up their duelist for an aggressive push somewhere.
No one being overly zealous on this pistol. Players knowing every round could come at a premium.
What a weird smoke from Frost there. Just to hide Rain in that tiny little cubby.
Looks like Sewers is the early call. They don't have Spike. It could just be a noise play. Spike's still sitting outside of grass. But Pleb and Rain still holding their positions outside long.
It's going to be a later hit onto this A site.
They made the right play, but will they hold? No one's watching behind, however. Burger's already made it out onto A site. And Pleb had no idea. Rain able to take down one, Dudes with a second.
Left.
Rain's traded out by Kristen.
Shadows
3 men up for each team. Spike is gonna go down.
Right there. Spike planted.
Two Texas Tech players sitting in hell and one on the main Spike plant.
There's the flash. Takes the fall damage. Dances around. Takes down one. Not able to get the second. Kristen and Dutrin ring true. It's 1v2. Also has the HP.
Enemy remaining.
Gets one with the right click. Not able to find the second, but the right clicks are enough. He's a classic man, ladies and gentlemen. Clauso cleans up and gets the first round of the second half on the board for Mississippi State.
But for this, I make an exception.
Dubes is absolutely crazy for that play. What is he doing? He's flashing bottom hell and just jumping at them full force. Doesn't care about the fall damage. Nothing. He's going to aggress, and he does not care who is in the way.
I mean, I said before, Dubes on Breach, it's a comfort pick, not in a negative sense at all. He feels invincible on Breach, and I think that is just a testament to it. He can play fast, and his pace of play has kind of been a staple for this team's identity going into this season. Rain in an interesting angle here. Able to get one and the second. And on the other side of the map,
lose Frost.
On the other side of the map, 2 more go down. And the last, Kristen Cole, not able to do it. And Rain, 3 with the Marshall on the round. And that gives a second round to Mississippi State in this second half. 5 away. Not that anyone's counting.
That's true. But also, I love how you said at the beginning of this match that Doom said they were an aggressive team. But right now, I'm seeing the opposite of that. I see that that Mississippi State is more a defensive sided team than the attack side.
And I think that's the right call. Like, not only in those first 2 rounds has it worked, as Rain comes in with that Phantom and sprays away, but I think that's been the right call, at least for those first 2 defensive rounds. You know, you play slow, let them come to you, let them over-aggress. They do. Rain probably saw his live flash before his eyes there, seeing 3 gun barrels as he peeked, but that's not going to stop him from shoulder checking one more time.
Risky peek.
There's the smoke now for Frost. We see the stun and the breach utility usage. Finding no damage.
Look at Frost though. He's alert. He's just walked all the way out mid, and he's gonna sit there and wait for our timing.
Classo does go down, maybe a little overzealous from the down in grass. But Pleb still anchoring A site. Frosty is just hanging out under the window.
30 seconds left.
But with the exception of Storm on that jet, everyone from Texas Tech is still hanging out outside of C.
It was a nice try at the fake, but with Frosty sitting in mid, he could just hear when the Texas Tech players want to rotate, and that way Rain doesn't have to rotate towards that A side.
Spike down.
And the biggest thing there was that Doob anchored the site. Doob never stopped. Doob didn't rotate. So he shoulder peeked, saw 3, was able to get the stun down lane, flashed, was able to pick up 2, and then just used his second flash. He kept all of his utility late in the round, and that's the patience that I think is going to benefit Mississippi State moving forward. Like, it's great to want to play a fast-paced, high-octane like style, especially on attack, but on that defense, you have to be able to make that call to just sit. Don't use your abilities. Don't overthink it. Don't over rotate. Don't like rotate unnecessarily, but just let the round come to you. And that was done very successfully right there to give them a 3-round lead here.
It was a nice try by Shadow to try and fake the A pressure with the smoke, but since Frosty's just sitting there in mid, he heard them go towards A, and Doob's just sitting on the C site, checking them over and over.
Trying to break the trip, finally does go down, but Rain picks up 1 before being taken down with the Stinger. Storm able to take down one of his own with the Stinger. Now the main advantage is actually Texas Tech. Not sure they were able to grab any upgraded weapons off of that, but 2 kills, you still have your spike. Now the 3 remaining players for Mississippi State having to reassess. A little bit of a duel between double doors here.
Classo breaks the door.
And now the flip side of what we saw last round, this is now Texas Tech waiting on Mississippi State to get aggressive, and Noobs is doing just that. Gets 1, but not able to get the utility out to escape the last 3.
Left.
But does make the call that the last 3 are there. We see smokes come out from either Omen. Texas Tech makes it to site first, and the second smoke from Zeph. Burger Eater takes down Classo, and it's almost all she wrote here. It's just Frosty peeks through. Storm was holding the angle, and that's 1 back by way of Texas Tech. It's now 9-7 here.
Just what beautiful spam from Texas Tech to get rid of Rain and Pleb just sitting by that C door right next to the B site.
Gotta go.
And now Rain pulling out the operator of his own. Maybe trying to get an early peek
Quick
here if
feed,
anyone
quick
is going to be looking into the sewer. Instead goes quiet.
I think he's also bought.
Now it's a waiting game. Texas Tech has a lot of presence in the bottom mid. Mississippi State choosing to put 2 on the C site, and now already rotating Classo over as well to B-Link, peeking through that double door area.
Go, go, go.
Frosty gets the opener before he goes down himself. That gives sight to Texas Tech. Spike's gonna go down. He can teleport out for free. And now it's post plan for Mississippi State. How do you get back onto this B site? Of course, Pleb with the flank.
It's gonna see him as soon as he walks by that door. Oh no, it's not placed
Didn't
right.
see him at all. Is able to get one for free, not able to take down the Killjoy, however. Dubes gets one with the ability, the Rolling Thunder. Caution off the other, and Rain also invests the ultimate from Neon, the headshot as well, just to ensure the spike is defused. Multiple ultimates invested for Mississippi State, but that does get them to double digits in 10 rounds. And Storm calling the timeout off of that.
I think it was a good call by Texas Tech to take advantage of the site that they won, but the mistakes made by the Killjoy to put the turret in the wrong spot to where it can't see pleb and he gets a kill off that is huge.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're Storm right here, what do you think the message is to the rest of Texas Tech's team? Is it hey, we have 3 ults? Is it hey, I know we're down 3, but we're still fine? Like what do you think the message is for Texas Tech here?
I think it's a bit motivational, but also a bit of a game plan, because I know that's what some captains love to do. They love to put a bit of both in there. And so I think he wants to use this Rolling Thunder effectively, but are they on an eco? I'm pretty sure they are. So it's going to be hard to commit to this Rolling Thunder on this round.
I think a lot of it may just depend on, do we get that opening pick? And are we going to use it to guarantee the spike plant, right? We do see a couple of rifles invested so far, so at most it'll be a half buy. But can we get that first pick? Recon Bolt is destroyed, gives away at least one person is outside of A. Now, Rain held the patience last time. Just wasn't able to hit the shot on the shoulder of the Killjoy. 2 people creeping up grass. They are able to take down 1 tripwire at double doors. Rain wins the op battle there, or at least the sniper duel. Still holding down A by himself. The rest of Texas Tech hanging out right outside of spawn. Shock dart to break any potential trip there.
If you're Texas Tech, where are you going to go? You don't have your go button. It's gone.
Yeah, you don't have the owl drone either. You have 1 recon bolt to try to get you some information.
Cover going out.
Smoked off window just to try to get you out onto C site. Breach utility used the Odin coming out from Pleblord back site. Not able to find anything off of it. The shock dart does hit Zeph, but not in time. The spike is down for this 3-on-3.
Off your feet!
There is the Rolling Thunder. It is utilized, and Texas Tech is taking advantage of this opportunity here. It's now a 3v1. Basso left all on his own. Does see the elbow, not able to get the kill, however. And that was just a great execution for Texas Tech. It was late in the round. They were down a man, but the decision was made, and they were able to execute. And in response, Dubes is going to call a timeout for Mississippi State.
I think he just wants to, make sure, they're not being too overzealous with, even if they are up rounds, they can't be, too over aggressive, or they can't take fights without one another. They want to take the advantage fights and not ones where they're just dry peeking everything.
On the flip side here, Mississippi State now no ultimates. Wow, Texas Tech has 4. And winning that last round, they're going to have a little bit of money as well.
I mean, tell me where you've seen this score before. I mean, it's 10-8 to Mississippi State. We saw this on the last map, and it did not go well for Texas Tech. But this is a different map.
We did, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to what the call is, what the shot call is for like what they want to try and execute here. Because if you're Mississippi State, it's not that you aren't executing. Like even in that last round, like you got your opener.
Come into the unknown.
It's just like you got the first blood. It's just that rolling thunder as well as the rest of those utility was just used more effectively. Mississippi State choosing to go aggressive down mid here. Trades come through. Dubes is able to take off Kristen Cole, but the Sova Odin, name a more iconic duo. I say that as Pleb Lord's Sheriff actually takes down Burger Eater and his Omen. The Neural Theft decides against it.
You should run.
Does pick up the Odin. And there is the first kill. I don't believe we saw a Killjoy ult that first half, unless I'm mistaken. But this one here secures spike plant, secures the site, but also takes off a lot of time from Mississippi State. Not able to take those 15 seconds. Pleblord does get the dink, not able to get the kill, however. And Zeph still holding down Heaven.
Last player standing.
And it's just Bosa. He has to save, no?
Silence.
Dives against it, takes one down on his way out. That Odin is a heavy investment. Not sure it got quite what Mississippi State was hoping for in the last round. Bug Eater gets one with it before going down this round. And now it looks like it is Closo's burden to bear. 9 rounds to 10. Texas Tech trying to claw their way back into this one and even things back up. The entire first half was back and forth, as has been most of this series.
And if you're Mississippi State, you're saying, okay, they won the round with ults. Now that we have our Hunter's Fury to counter the other one, let's try and figure out how to work this Hunter Fury into the round.
And now Storm playing fast out on taking a little bit of room down A long. Spike has been left in spawn. Maybe play it for an early pick, trying to get a little aggressive if Rain was holding that angle. Instead, Pleb is over on the A site. Rain has taken C for this round. Texas Tech is slow playing. We do see Zeph making his way up towards doors.
Doors have been spammed by Closo. They're very damaged.
Shock dart utilized, no damage found. 45 seconds left in the round. It looks like we're grouping out towards A long for Texas Tech.
Closo did take damage from his phone.
Thirty seconds left.
Very dangerous for Closo if he pops that ult, because Burger Eater can just pop his ult right back and hit him with one charge of the Hunter's Fury, and he's gone.
Pleb playing his life here, not able to get much going. His cam got destroyed, and now he's just trying to play, like I said, play his life. 5 HP through the spam. Storm finally cleans him up. Hunter's Fury does come through. Rain takes down the Killjoy. They take down Storm as well, but Burger Eater with the spam. Also making that Odin come through, but it's not enough. Last man standing is Kristen Cole with 38 HP. Ties it up at 10. Whoever gets 3 more rounds first.
This is State's eco round. It's gonna be hard to claw this one back.
They did invest the Hunter's Fury as well, and Texas Tech did not invest any ultimates.
Looks like they're going aggressive towards C. They decide against it.
Closo does go down.
Close.
This owl drone is going to peek for Zeph.
Shadows traveling.
Zeds decide to smoke off window, play it safe. Doob's playing close, trusting his aim with the sheriff. Zeph with this off angle, though, could be really dangerous.
If he chooses to flash out of this, Doobs could have the advantage. But I think he's just going to hold.
I think he may have been trying to bait Neon's footsteps, letting Neon leave, and Omen didn't expect it. Flashing out to get the Vandal to help his team. In the meantime, Hunter's Fury was used.
Player standing. Spike planted.
Doob's not able to make anything happen with the Vandal. Now it's just Pleb Lord. Currently has a Bucky, gonna play for the Vandal as well, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I mean, Texas Tech have just gone off the site. They're playing for spam. They don't have to do anything.
No one on the board with a smoke. Knows he has.
Not even a kid.
Does not have the angles on his side, and is mollied off as well. Decides instead to keep the Vandal. Stunned on the way out as well. Texas Tech just throwing every bit of utility at him they could. Is able to make it out, however. And now, after being 8-10, it's now flipped 11-10. Texas Tech now on top.
It's a very dangerous spot for Mississippi State. They sure Texas Tech invested the Hunter's Fury, but honestly, they just had to play their angles right because they had 45 seconds and Texas Tech hadn't planted the bomb on C, and then they just rushed out.
Mississippi State trying to change it up, get aggressive down A here. Not able to find any spam through the Omen smoke, though.
Tripwire destroyed.
Trip is destroyed. Pleb can't find the shots. Storm takes C site.
Running low.
Now Mississippi State's going to have to regroup for this retake.
Shadows traveling. Stealing sight.
And I don't think Mississippi State's retakes have been that good on this side of the map.
You do stop the nano swarm. You do get stunned, however. Taking down one, the spam through the box. I'm not sure if that's spam. Yeah, I think it is spam.
You cannot spam
None
through
of
that
those.
box.
Yeah, not finding anything. Burger Eater and Kristen Cole cleaning up the last three. And now this is match point for map 3 and for this series. Texas Tech climbing back from a deficit. The entire first half was back and forth. They go down a few rounds early in the second half, able to climb back 12-10 here. Mississippi State, 3 ultimates on the board. They are not out of this by any measure, but gonna have to find a round here to keep it alive.
Very much so. Dudes with this Rolling Thunder has the biggest chance to save this team. Rain having to stick with the overdrive as his main weapon. He's waiting for, you know, someone to peek.
Mississippi State going back to that passive default, giving up A site completely.
It's very quiet, very slow. Something Texas Tech is kind of what we've seen from Texas Tech a good bit of this game, but we also know them to be pretty aggressive team even when they're slow.
And Texas Tech has proven to be a team where when they make the decision to execute, it's full send, all gas, no brakes, and it looks like A is going to be the call here, and they're not going to face very much resistance.
30 seconds
Not
left.
very much, but they do on the retake have this rolling thunder.
Going out.
I mean, they're just waiting for the presence.
Smoke goes down. Frosty is going to take Evan behind that smoke. The nano swarm onto the box, clears out the backside of it. Rolling thunder doesn't stop the plant.
Get out of my way.
Trying to stop the plant with all of the util, not able to get it down. Kills coming through for Storm and for Pleb. Doob's also onto site. Storm's hiding behind this smoke here. Does get dinged. Not able to find the kill, and Doob's cleans it up. It's 2v2. There is one nano swarm onto that site.
Pleb gets us to half, though. This is very winnable for Mississippi State.
Last player standing.
Doob's able to
and
get
Doob's
the
gets
first
both.
and the second. That's a 3K to save Mississippi State. We take it to a 24th round here.
Mississippi State hoping for overtime at this point because they can't lose this round on match point for Texas Tech.
And what a call to save your Neural Theft and your Omen ultimate for the last round. I know Omen died, but saving that Cypher ult for this last round could be huge. We do see some spam there. Storm's brought out the operator, looking to punish any of those jump peaks. Just like that, and unfortunately, the captain is down from Mississippi State.
Sadly, Pleb earned that ultimate by getting a kill and then dying on the spike. So, how does the captain lead his troops from the other side?
Now, Rain does have a position under window here, but it looks like the call may be... I mean, it may be grass out towards mid, but I feel like if recent history has proven anything, it's going to be A, and I immediately stand corrected. Headshot. The head is seen. Rain good for 2, avoids the spam, gets the stun as well for a 3rd, and able to escape. Rain said, don't worry, Cap. I got it. That's 3 to bring it back. Advantage Mississippi State. There's under 30 seconds left. They're going to have to stick this plant here. 4-2. There's the Killjoy ultimate. Zeph takes down Frosty, who is going to try to destroy it. So they have to respect it at this point. 5 more seconds. You got a nano swarm and your sensor. Pleb on this lurk is able to kill Zeph. 3v1. Have your double swing here, and that takes down Dutren. We're going overtime. What a better way to play week 1 of the SEC series. Not only do we get a map 3, but we get the overtime as well.
Switching sides. Overtime.
And this is just a war of attrition between Texas Tech and Mississippi State. But now we're going on the side where they were dead even. They go back and forth. It only matters who wins the next half of overtime.
I had to catch my own breath, and I'm not even in the server right now. We don't have to worry about ecos anymore. Money is no longer a worry for these teams. Mississippi State, their first half was on the attack and ended in a 6-6 tie. Back on the attack again.
Gotta go. This way.
It looks like Texas Tech has chosen to go to, or Mississippi State has chosen to go B.
And they've walked right up to B. Kristen Cole sitting in spawn for most of that.
Go, go, go.
But Spike has been planted, and they've made it all the way back. Storm may have a flank here, but it looks like Mississippi State is wary of that possibility. Flash out and able to get who else but Rain and Dubes securing that the all-star for Texas Tech in Storm does go down. They tap the spike and Zeph goes down as well. Recon Dart destroyed. Another goes down, and at this point it's just a matter of timing. However, Kristen Cole is able to line up 3, and if you're a Mississippi State fan, your breath just caught in your throat. But now, we flip sides. Mississippi State is now 1 round away from taking week 1 versus Texas Tech.
This is the most important round because this could go either way. Sure, Mississippi State made the comeback on the defensive side, but most of the rounds on the defensive side, Texas Tech took the initiative and just took the match away from them.
And now if you're Mississippi State, you got to play defense. Like you had that string of rounds in the beginning of the second half. You've got to find one more here. Dubes is feeling it. He wants to peek this smoke. Nothing going yet. But it looks like Texas Tech is on something similar, at least a split between B main and then through the double doors into the hut. Dubes does back off, however.
I think that's their go button now.
Yep, there's the first smoke. Dubes wanted to sit through it, wait on the push, does get stunned, now has to wait. Spike does go down, but Frosty takes down Storm. Dubes able to swing through, doesn't get flashed, takes down 2. Knows that Burger Eater's inside of hut, waits for the swing, doesn't quite get it. It's gonna take the reload. It's Pleb and Dubes. We saw them clutch earlier in the 2v2.
One enemy remaining.
And
the blast
perfect aftershock
down
from Dubes
Trend.
with the rolling thunder.
Burger Eater stunned, has to get all the way around. Dubes may try to stick this. He's going to let Plebs play around it. But Burger, with 55 HP, takes down both with less than a second left on the clock. And we're going a second overtime.
If you're a Mississippi State fan, you are holding your hands in your hand.
That is tough. I called it. They made the clutch earlier between Dubes and Pleb. In that one, it was Dubes with the shots and Plebs with the defuse. It was roles reversed this time. Pleb didn't hit the shot, and Burger with a beautiful transfer through a cage to take down both. Mississippi State not stopping, however, back on the attack. Storm and Burger with the 2 openers onto Rain and Dubes. And just like that, only 2 left for Mississippi State. That last round may have took the wind out of the sails, but these 2 have not given up yet. Pleb and Closo, been friends for years. The 2 freshmen on this squad.
Sadly, Closo's not there, but Frosty is with Pleb on
Excuse
this
me,
one.
it is
And
Frosty.
I think Frosty might know.
Enemy remaining.
Beautiful flawless from Texas Tech.
I think Mississippi State wanted to try to mash the gas, you know, a little frustration after that last round and wanted to just, you know, force something a little bit there. Not quite going. Tech was in, they had their defense set up, you know, correctly and guessed right on the push. Were able to take down Rain and Dubes early and then cleaned up the rest of the Mississippi State team. And now it's roles reversed. If you're Mississippi State, this is now the must-win round here.
But especially after last round, you struggled with this. But let's see if they can adapt to what Texas Tech has brought on attack so far.
It looks like Mississippi State has gone to Dubes and Rain, kind of like duo pushing. They also have a third with them as well. They take down the Killjoy and then decide to retreat instead of over pursue.
But I think Texas Tech see that there's an opening because there's 3 players there. And
They are
so they're
walking
looking to
up
head
C
towards this
long.
C site.
Gonna be on Frosty to hold this. Does get smoked off. However, it's Breach with Spike, and he was one of the last onto the site. So that's a little bit of extra time. Zeph has made it behind, and I don't think they heard that TP. Rain goes down. The paranoia does hit Dubes. Pleb trades with Burger. Kristen takes out Pleb. F was just playing distraction, and that was enough. Storm takes down Dubes, and now it's all on Closo. Not able to make it happen. What a heartbreaker for Mississippi State fans. A double overtime map 3. And Mississippi State falls to Texas Tech 15-13.
It's just a very close game. You know, it is a heartbreaker because they played so well, and then just to have it end like that is awful, man.
It hurts.
It feels so
but
bad.
There is a wrinkle, and I think it is that you played a very good Texas Tech team to a double overtime map 3. You were able to push out of a lead in the second half of map 3. You never gave up in map 1. You were able to battle back from a map 1 loss into a map 2 win, and a convincing win at that. So I think there are a lot of positives for this Mississippi State team to build off of, and they've only had their coach for 2 weeks. So like imagine what another week and then another week and then another week is going to do as this season progresses in the SEC for this Mississippi State squad.
I feel like they can get better, but the thing is, we will definitely see this match again between Texas Tech and Mississippi State.
It looks like you're not just going to hear from us. We're actually going to talk to some of the Mississippi State players and kind of get their thoughts and reactions of that first series in this week 1 of the SEC. But while they get ready and collect themselves after that extremely close match, yet again, Rain, 29 kills on map 2, 30 kills in map 3. Now, not to be outdone, Storm battles back and drops 27, and then Burger as well drops 29 for Texas Tech. So, frags across the board. Honestly, shout out to all of these players in this lobby tonight. It was an awesome, awesome matchup, and I feel privileged to have been a part of this.
I agree with that. I feel privileged to be casting this.
Hello.
Alrighty, and it looks like we have Frost and Dubes with us. And guys, extremely close match, double overtime map 3 to start the SEC season. Obviously not the ending we were hoping for, but what are some of the takeaways that y'all have after this matchup?
Tyler, you want to take on?
Yeah, I think a lot of our fundamentals are pretty much there. Like we just a lot of misplays sometimes, but we have a lot of really good set plays. I really enjoy our Haven set play, and then Abyss was pretty well. What do you think about Will?
Yeah, I mean, overall, we've got the pieces to be a great team. The components are definitely there. We did a good job tonight, but a good job doesn't win every game. You got to do a great job. Flawless tonight. A couple of rounds, especially on Sunset, more even so than Haven. Honestly, I think we should have won Sunset without a doubt. And there shouldn't have been a map 3, but we still played great, even on that map 3. So we gotta be able to close those out. But it was overall good stuff from us. We've got a bright future ahead.
And with this being just week 1, like you've only been with your coach for 2 weeks. This is week 1 of the season. If this is the floor, then I think that y'all have a tremendous ceiling that y'all are going to be able to reach. Now, I would feel remiss if I didn't mention MSU Rain in this Neon and Jet play. Is he just like all gas, no brakes, or like what goes through this man's mind on some of his entries?
Uh, the objective is I put him in a position to kill, and he kills everything he sees, and he's extremely, scarily good at what he. It's that simple. There's a lot more that goes into it that makes it complex, but the overall bones of it is we put him in a position to take favorable gunfights, and he wins them consistently, and that's exactly why he match MVP'd all 3 games.
And he was able to do that. I don't remember his match 1 scoreline, but 29 kills map 2 and 30 kills map 3. I mean, whatever y'all have cooking up, it's definitely working.
No, for sure. He's a great player. We're very lucky to have him. He's incredible.
Will, what do you got for him? Or I say Will, Wolf, excuse me.
For me, honestly, now that you played against Texas Tech, do you think you'll play them again?
In the SEC, I don't think we play them again. We will play 5 other teams from the SEC, and I mean we could see them again in the playoffs, for sure. But we won't play them again in the regular season. In NECC, it'd be, I mean, just completely random. Play them again.
Okay. Do you have any words for your next opponent if you know who that is?
Yeah, our next opponent is University of Texas. They're an incredible team. They're very, very good, high ranked in the nation. We took a map on them last year. I think we're a better team now, so they should be concerned.
You heard it here first. Captain Doobs has spoken. Well, I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. I know that y'all are students. I know some of our production staff may have some assignments that are due here relatively soon. Frost, Doobs, appreciate y'all taking the time to talk with us a little bit after the match.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, gamers and gaming aficionados and fans, this has been Mississippi State Texas Tech week 1 of the SEC Valorant season. I've been Dancing Buffalo. With me along for the ride has been Wolf. I want to say thank you for watching, lurking, chatting. Thank you to our production staff. Thank you for our players. And thank you all at home. We hope to see y'all again soon. See you guys. Have a good one.
Losing, either way I'm there. Got an attitude, I'm up in the air. Let's run, I make it count, yeah, I'm talking right now. Feel like the comeback kid, got no time to spare. Double up score, 22 to 4. You know I win a lot, gotta win one more. On a hot street, never gets old. Soda with the ace and my team went gold. Why am I playing with time as it's ticking away? It's ticking away, away. I'm asking why. I'll give it one more try.